If you've ever experienced the absolute full range of emotions while watching a football game, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, where we kick off another week and another month here, as it is Monday, November 3rd. It's a victory Monday, thankfully. We've got some more news. Actually had some news breaking here this morning. We got an interview for you this morning. We got some movers, and you guessed it, we got a lot more earnings to go this week. It's going to be a big one. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Monday edition for November 3rd, 2025, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. Hope that y'all had a great weekend. I got to be honest, my weekend was completely out of control, culminating with a ridiculous day yesterday. But all said and done, it's time for another week here. It is a Victory Monday. Vibes are high, and we have some money to make here today. Got a full day slated up here for you for the show. We got to break down some news. We got an interview for you here today with a stock that's releasing some news here this morning. We've got movers to go over, and we're going to prepare you for some earnings. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody back. Solitary Soldier, good morning. Welcome back. Whisk, good morning. Solitary Soldier, by the way, first here today. Congrats, buddy. First, starting a new week. Whisk, good morning. Sunkissed Yogi, good morning. Robert, good morning. Ryan, how you doing, Ryan? How are those bets doing? Hope that you had a good weekend. Welcome back, Bus. Laura in Florida, welcome back. Good to see you. Big Bear hug. Welcome back. Brian, welcome back. Was going to say I need a DeBears from Ryan. What a game. Oh, man. Brian, I just, if you could have seen me on Sunday, you would have laughed. I was all over the board. Props to Joe Flacco, but hold that L, buddy. Dave, good morning. Welcome back. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Ezra, good morning. Peter, good morning. Jay, good morning. Billy, I think that is. Good morning. Neville, good morning. Harvey, welcome back. Yassine, welcome back. Kevin, good morning. Jonathan, good morning. AC, good morning. Graf, good morning. Jim, good morning. Day Trader, good morning. Jonathan Cooper, good morning. Day Trader, I meant to ask you, we got some K-View news here today. I remember you were saying that you were buying that. You'll have to let me know if you ended up made some money off that. We'll cover it here briefly. I just have the press release. And I obviously haven't really dug into it because I just saw the news this morning. But grats. Hopefully that puts some green on your P&L here today. Buffalo by Bicycle, good morning, welcome back. Zach, good morning, welcome back. Producers locked in as always. Candace, or I think it's Corey Candace, maybe. Welcome back. Good morning. Lambo Rolls. Good morning. Johnny. Good morning. It's good to see you again. Robot to Trade. Good morning. Unpopular Truth. Sam and G-Cord. Good morning. Archangel. Good morning. John, good morning. An incredible game is right. Yeah, so fine. Good morning. Welcome back. Ricardo, good morning. Cam, good morning. White Chocolate Mocha, good morning. Durkis, good morning. Tom, good morning. Joseph and Gary, good morning. Booglog, good morning. Just passing through. Transitions, James, Best Life, good morning. Work Life, good morning. Hermat, good morning. Buenos dias from Panama, good morning. Brock, good morning. Yas, good morning, and John, good morning. Iran is shining a lot brighter. We're going to go through both of those, Day Trader. Really, really good stuff there. Okay, let's go ahead and start with our stock market today. All right. Futures mixed ahead of our open here today. S&P futures up 0.2% here this morning. Dow futures down 0.11%. And the NASDAQ up 0.52%. Let's take a look at some cues from last session here. Got to find it, though. Oh, come on. Cues from last session here. Sectors gaining on Friday included consumer discretionary and energy stocks, which bucked the overall market trend. Most sectors on the S&P 500, however, closed negatively, with consumer staples, materials, and utility stocks recording the biggest losses for the session. U.S. stock futures advanced on Monday after Friday's positive moves. Futures of major benchmark indices were higher. The Dow only one lagging here, lagging by 0.12% as of this reading. Even as the government shutdown continued for over a month, the stocks gained in October. S&P 500 added 1.85%. The Dow surged 1.72%, and the NASDAQ jumped 4.33%. Meanwhile, President Trump defended his economic record, pointing to a surging stock market as a rebuttal to concerns like higher inflation and high grocery prices. Additionally, he identified several key sectors that he says are directly benefiting from his administration's economic policies. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.08%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.58%. We do have some stocks in focus for this Monday. Micron is first on the list. That jumped 4.32% in pre-market on Monday, following multiple updates from last week, which include an upbeat memory chip forecast from SK Hynix and CEO Sanjay Mehrotra, selling 5.13 million in stock last week. Micron's still very high rankings on the Benzinga rankings meter, and also an intact short, medium, and long-term price trend. The second stock on our list here today is Spirit Aerosystems. This is ticker SPR. It tumbled 1.34% after reporting a loss of $4.87 per share. Company reported quarterly sales of $1.585 billion, which missed the analyst consensus estimate of $1.923 billion. Palantir is next on our list. Palantir, that's 1.66% higher, ahead of its earnings scheduled to be released after the closing bell here today on Monday. Analysts expect it to report earnings of 15 cents per share on revenue of $1.09 billion. Him and Hers Health is the next stock on our list. That gained 2.95% as analysts expect it to report earnings of 10 cents per share on revenue of $581.38 million after the closing bell. Hims maintained a weaker price trend over the short and medium trends, but has a strong trend in the long term with a strong growth ranking. We'll see if Hims can end up turning it around. Last stock on our list here is Goodyear Tire and Rubber. That's ticker GT. That was up 0.58% ahead of its earnings scheduled to be released after the closing bell. Analysts expect it to report 15 cents per share on revenue of $1.09 billion. All right, let's take a look at the SPY chart. Let's get ready for this week. So we are about at the midpoint of the channel that we have drawn on here. This is the uptrend since the Liberation Day unwind. We're about at the medium point there of the channel. Your value here, 683.56. We do have an all-time high value up here of 689.70. Yeah, 689.70 is your all-time high. So we'll see what we end up doing here today. If we take a look inside, one of the things that you'll notice is that we did successfully defend 680, right? We did that on Thursday. We did that on Friday. Now, today we did pop a little bit. We're rolling over here ahead of the open. We'll see if we end up trading down to 680. That's definitely going to be a key level today. I think we want to stay above that if we want to have any chance for a move higher. A lot of this is going to be changed when we get the Palantir earnings report here tonight after the closing bell. But this is kind of where we're at here on SPY. We did kind of break to this new level. It looks like it's trying to go sideways a little bit. Good news here is that we're actually in the middle of the channel and we are not overbought. RSI reading here, 61.30. All right, let's take a look at some cues from last session here. Some insights from analysts here. Ryan Dietrich, chief market strategist at Carson Research, has countered the bearish narrative that market rally is weak and concentrated in just a few mega cap stocks. He argued that the bull market has significant underlying strength proven by the performance of the equal weight indices. Now, for anyone that wants this video or anything else that Ryan has done, links to those tweets and the accounts and the videos are in this story here. Dietrich points out that the equal weight versions of the S&P 500, the Dow, and the NASDAQ all hit all-time highs simultaneously. This is a crucial distinction from their more common market cap weighted counterparts, where the performance of gains like Apple or Nvidia can mask weakness in other areas. In an equal weight index, every stock has the same influence. Therefore, seeing these indices hit new all-time highs, proves the rally is broad-based, meaning the average stock is performing exceptionally well. This widespread participation, rather than a rally led by a few generals, is a classic indicator of a healthy, sustainable market trend. And for Dietrich, this is clear evidence that the bull market still has plenty of strength left. We do have some economic data coming up here, so I'm just going to roll through it real quick. Here's what investors are going to be keeping an eye on this week. On Monday, October S&P final U.S. manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing will be released by 9:45 and 10, respectively. Also, since September's construction spending data will be delayed because of the ongoing government shutdown. San Francisco's Fed President Mary Daly will speak at noon, and Fed Governor Lisa Cook will speak at 2, and October auto sales data will also be released. On Tuesday, Fed Vice Chair of Supervision Michelle Bowman will speak at 6:35 a.m. Boy, really getting her up early for that one. And September's U.S. trade deficit, factory orders, and job openings data will be delayed because of the shutdown. On Wednesday, October's ADP employment data will be out by 8:15, S&P's final U.S. services PMI by 9:45, and October's ISM services data by 10. On Thursday, the initial jobless claims for the last week will be delayed, along with the third quarter U.S. productivity data and September's wholesale inventories data. Fed Governor Michael Barr, New York Fed President John Williams will speak at 11, Fed Governor Waller at 3:30, Philadelphia Fed President Anna Paulson at 4:30, and the St. Louis Fed President Alberto Musalem at 5:30. On Friday, New York Fed President John Williams will speak again at 3 a.m., and Vice Chair Philip Jefferson will speak at 7 a.m. October's U.S. employment report, unemployment rate, and hourly wage data will be delayed. Dallas Fed President Lori Logan will speak again at 9:30, and Fed Governor Stephen Miron at 3. November's preliminary consumer sentiment data will be out by 10. September's consumer credit data will be out by 3. All right, now, let's talk about IREN here real quick. I'm actually going to go back. This is one of the stocks that Day Trader was mentioning here. What a move. Here's what IREN's daily chart looks like. This has been a massive winner for those of you that have been trading this recently. And here we go. We are up 21.5% here today. Look where that takes us, 73.80. Boy, this is basically right at a previous all-time high. That high, 74.15. That's definitely going to be a key level today. Let's see if we pop above that and run to a blue sky breakout. If not, if we fall from this area, perhaps there's a double top. Huge move higher here. IREN shares are trading higher after the company signed a $9.7 billion AI cloud services agreement with Microsoft to deploy the NVIDIA GB300 GPUs across its 750 megawatt Texas campus. I mean, here's the PR for it. Under the agreement, IREN will provide Microsoft with access to NVIDIA GB300 GPUs over a 5-year term with a total contract value of approximately $9.7 billion. That includes 20% prepayment. IREN has also entered into an agreement with Dell to purchase the GPUs and ancillary equipment for approximately $5.8 billion. GPUs are expected to deploy in phases through 2026 at IREN's 750 megawatt Childress, Texas campus, in conjunction with the delivery of new liquid-cooled data centers that will collectively support 200 megawatts of critical IT load. IREN expects to fund the capital expenditures associated with the contract through a combination of existing cash, customer payments, and operating cash flows, and additional financing initiatives. Interesting. This is from Daniel Roberts, co-founder and co-CEO of IREN. Quote, "We're proud to announce this milestone partnership with Microsoft, highlighting the strength and scalability of our vertically integrated AI cloud platform. This agreement not only validates IREN's position as a trusted provider of AI cloud services, but also opens access to new customer segment, including global hyperscalers. It marks another major step forward for IREN as we continue to expand large-scale GPU deployments across our 3 gigawatt secured power portfolio in North America, reinforcing our position as its leading AI cloud services provider. Today with IREN, Microsoft is delivering cutting-edge AI infrastructure for consumers. So just another massive, massive move here for IREN. Huge move higher. Day trader, I got to know. I think I know what the answer is, but we going to break out here from this. We're going to move a little bit higher. Our pullback's supposed to be bought here. Curious. This is just, I know if I had IREN, especially given the move that we've been seeing here, much like we see in some of the other stocks that have moved like this, LEU, ONDS, really doesn't matter where they're in. When you have these huge moves like this, got to be selling into it. I'd be selling some more here today. Day trader, appreciate this. I'm putting you on the spot and you are not dodging it. I think we gap and go. So if that's the case here, 21.73% gap, that takes us to 74.15, that all-time high previously from what was the day on this? October 15th. You get that go. There you go. I say if you're going to do a gap and go trade on IREN here today, possibly want to do a 9 EMA on that. When it loses the 9 EMA, possibly on the 5-minute, that would be your trigger to close it, but looking really good. Day trader says, I'm not selling a single share. You can take your trading strategy and stuff it, because day trader is a hodler. So I'll tell you what, easy for me to say, this has been an absolute amazing trade for anyone that's in it. I know a couple of my coworkers are in this too, and it's a good morning for them. One might say good morning for them. So IREN, big pop there. Okay, the next big story here is actually going to be on KView. Let me go ahead and load that chart up here. Here's the KView chart. Remember, this is the company that they spun off Tylenol into. It's been under pressure here with some of the news coming out about Tylenol. You can see exactly what the stock did here. But today, KenView shares are trading higher after Kimberly-Clark announced plans to acquire the company in a cash and stock deal. Stock is popping here by 18%. This is why I was asking earlier. I can't remember what price you were buying that at, but you're getting a little bit of a pop here. You can see it's taken several legs down from the initial piece of news, but this actually represents a 50% retracement from that entire down move. So looking pretty good. Here's what's going on with this. Again, this is no story here. PR was just out this morning, so haven't really been able to dive into this fully yet, but looking to be able to do that here pretty soon. This combines a highly complementary and strategically aligned consumer offerings, including 10 iconic billion-dollar brands that will provide solutions through every stage of life. Applies Kimberly-Clark's proven commercial execution playbook to create a best-in-class consumer-driven company. It enhances the investment and marketing, innovation, and research and development capabilities to strengthen combined companies' unique advantages. They anticipate the run rate of synergies to be $2.1 billion, and that's expected to be accretive in Kimberly-Clark's adjusted EPS by year 2. So not going to have to wait all that long. Delivers immediate upfront value to KenView shareholders with an opportunity to participate in significant future upside from combined value creation. Companies are going to host a call here. That actually started, I think, 19 minutes ago. So we'll see if anything else comes out of that. Right down here, one more quote I wanted to read you. We are excited to bring together two iconic companies to create a global health and wellness leader. That's Mike Hsu, Kimberly-Clark Chairman and Chief Executive Officer. KenView is uniquely positioned at the intersection of CPG and healthcare with exceptional talent and differentiated brand offerings serving attractive consumer health categories. So big pop here. Kimberly-Clark, if we go back to the chart here, I think that's KMB, right? Kimberly-Clark, this is actually down 13%. So here's a look at the chart. Kimberly-Clark down at 103. So interestingly enough, let me actually go to a weekly here. Interestingly enough, Kimberly-Clark really kind of breaking out of this sideways formation. Worth noting that a test of 100 likely on deck here. This also represents a support area. So if we can hold this 100 area, that actually might be a tradable spot for ticker KMB, Kimberly-Clark. Obviously, the big premium today going to ticker KView, KVUE. Day trader here said I added at 1771 on the PR day, but failed to add more on KView. Well, okay, probably all right. At least this is basically getting you back to flat now. at this point. We'll see if KView ends up trading higher here today. The impulse move did take us to above 19 earlier, so we'll see if KView has some more on that. At least a couple of those down legs are paired back here with the news here today. So those the two big pieces of news here today, at least on some of the morning movers here. Now, next, really quickly, let me go to the design here. Here's what we got for, oops, this is producer. I thought you would have put the new thing in here. Producer. Okay, I will go ahead and get you the earnings graphic for this week. The big one that we're going to start with is Palantir. Let's actually start with the chart here. Producer's on top of it. Thank you, producer. Here's your Palantir chart. You can see we're actually trading higher here in the pre-market. We are set for another all-time high open here at 205.82. The Palantir hedge, it's just that. It's a hedge. That trade ain't working. We do have this upside trend line here that represents an extremely aggressive target. Not sure if we're going to get there. The other thing that I wanted to mention here, stocks that have run into their earnings print have not done as well that stocks were, as opposed to stocks that have not run, traded sideways or even traded down going into their earnings. So Palantir running here into the earnings. Let's go ahead and take a look. Here's the updated chart that I was looking for. Here are the earnings for this week. Obviously, Palantir going to be the big one here today after hours. But this week is going to be pretty big. We do have Pfizer and Shopify, Uber and Spotify tomorrow morning, AMD tomorrow night. I guess you could throw Amgen in there. Pinterest, for those of you that trade that, Rivian on there tomorrow as well. McDonald's in the morning on Wednesday. And then after hours on Wednesday, Robinhood, Qualcomm, Fortinet, Allstate, a couple of DoorDash, ARM, a couple of AppLovin, a couple of big stocks that we take a look at there pretty regularly. And then on Thursday after hours, we get Airbnb, looks like Texas Roadhouse. We'll see how those end up doing there. And then Monster. So not as big as last week, but still plenty of earnings here today that very well might move the market. And the bigger one, probably the biggest one here today, at least in my opinion, is going to be Palantir. Let's take a look at the Palantir preview here. Stop me if you've heard this before, but analysts are divided on Palantir ahead of the earnings. 400 PE is, quote, totally justified. Who thinks that's true? LOL. That was from Tom Nash. All right. Longtime Palantir bull Tom Nash said that the company's recent partnership with NVIDIA has, quote, changed the whole story, end quote. This came from his YouTube channel last week. According to Nash, the partnership gives Palantir superpowers by effectively combining the raw computing power of NVIDIA with the latter's ability to organize massive amounts of data and AI into one logical platform, unlocking significant value in the process. Regarding the company's valuations, Nash said that the price-to-earnings ratio of 400 times forward earnings is totally justified for those investors who believe the company is set to take over the world. Nash, however, acknowledges that the stock will have wild swings and massive sensitivity to sentiment changes given such high valuations. Do love the Michigan shirt here in the video that he's doing. I'll go ahead and throw that here in the chat for anyone that wants to watch the video. We won't do that here together. Another prominent independent investor on YouTube, Parkev Tatevosian, hope I pronounced his name correctly, a CFA, struck a more cautious note during his analysis of the stock last week. He warned investors that Palantir's market price is more than 3 times its value, which he would consider it to be a fair price, indicating that it is now significantly overvalued. Tatevosian said his intrinsic value per share estimate was $50 compared to a market price of $247. Well, it's higher here today. I wonder how he feels about that. Tatevosian also noted that Palantir's forward price earnings ratio of 256 is about 10 times the value of the average stock in the S&P 500. To give you an idea of how eye-popping some of these numbers are. Palantir's success is no secret to anyone, he said, adding that in his view, quote, investors are overestimating the company's value. Anyone think there's a Palantir bubble? According to Wedbush Securities analyst Dan Ives, bears continue to underestimate Palantir. Quote, the haters hate. I mean, The reality is the Bears were yelling when it was 15, screaming from the mountaintops at 50, and yelling fire in a crowded theater at 100, end quote. They went on to note that they continue to underestimate its potential. I've praised Palantir as a key force reshaping the technology industry, saying that no other company is transforming the landscape as profoundly as CEO Alex Karp and his team have done. While speaking with the Schwab Network last week, that's also in the article here. Shares of Palantir were up 3% on Friday, and they are up again here in the pre-market. I got to think this is the biggest earnings call of the week, and it comes tonight. I'd love to hear if you folks are trading this here today for like a short term leading up to the actual earnings print. Are you holding it for earnings? Are we looking to do a trade maybe post earnings? Let me know. Palantir has been a huge winner for a lot of us here in the show, and I'd love to hear how you folks are trading it here today. Okay, folks, it's Monday, and we have a interview here for you today. I'm going to bring on special guest here. This is going to be Matt Simpson, CEO of Brazil Potash, ticker GRO. Matt, good morning. How you doing here? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Doing well.
All right. It's around here. It's a Victory Monday, so we're all in really good. We're all in really good spirits here today. But it sounds like you had some news here today for Brazil Potash. First of all, thanks for joining. For those who might not know, can you please explain what Brazil Potash does?
Brazil Potash is building a brand new potash mine in Brazil. And the reason this is so important, Ryan, is that Brazil is one of the world's largest exporters of food, about $170 billion a year. But it's also the world's largest importer of potash and imports 98% of this critical nutrient to grow food that has no substitute, when potentially the second biggest basin in the world is sitting in its backyard.
Okay. So this morning you had some very important news. The company today announced that it had appointed BTIG as its lead financial advisor to secure an equity investment at the project level to fund construction of the project. Can you tell us more about this announcement and why this is important?
So Brazil Potash is fully permitted to start construction of the project. We now need to raise the money to actually start building it. So this appointment is pretty key, because we're now going to scour the earth looking for partners that are willing to invest in our construction. And in return, they're going to get an excellent MIOC.
Okay. Last week, you announced the execution of its third and final definitive commercial offtake agreement between, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Potássio do Brasil, a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, and Camina Solutions, part of Bulk Ferts, a Brazilian fertilizer trading and distribution company established in 1978 by Nelson Moreno. Can you tell us more about this and how this is going to impact?
So in order to fund the construction of our project, it is really key to have all of our production pre-sold under long-term contracts. And right now we have pre-sold over 91% of our anticipated production for contracts ranging between 10 years and 17 years. So with the construction funding, we're going to have a component that will be debt, probably about 60%, and then the balance will be equity. So in order to get the debt funding, the banks, the export credit agencies that will loan us the money don't want to take any risk on you being able to sell the product. So having these contracts in place is a critical enabler to be able to move forward on the debt side. And then today's announcement with BTIG on the equity is really what's going to round out the full construction.
Okay, and this establishes a 10-year take-or-pay commitment for Kimia to purchase up to 704,000 tons of potash annually. What does this mean for the company?
So again, we have three key offtake agreements. We have the one that we just announced last week with Camina Solutions. We also have one with a group called Keytrade, which is a privately owned Swiss trading company that has a big presence in Brazil. And then the final one is with Amagi Group, which is one of the biggest soybean farmers in the world, Brazilian based. So between those three contracts, we've pre-sold between 10 years and 17 years, the bulk of our production at market prices, plus inland freight to our advantage. So right now, potash is selling for about $360 a ton. We'll receive about $50 above that number because our inland freight is quite a bit lower than importers. So today, if we were in operation, we'd be selling for about $410 a ton and producing it for $80. And
Okay, that
that's
sounds like
one
you
way.
guys. Sorry, it sounds like you guys have been busy. What else do you have in the pipeline?
Well, we also announced a memorandum of understanding with a group called Fictor that's going to fund the construction of our 100-mile long power line. That's the only offsite
Mhm.
infrastructure. So we are moving quickly towards a binding contract, and that we expect to have completed before the end of the year. We're also speaking to groups that want to fund our port, want to fund our steam plants. We're really chipping away at all the key components that are going to be needed to pull together the construction funding.
Okay, and great. So, why should investors keep this stock on your radar? I know stock here is like 248 right now. Why should investors keep this on their radar?
Look, this is an amazing turnaround opportunity. The company IPO'd at the end of November of last year at $15 a share. The
Mhm.
stock fell quite hard, mainly because it was a private company for about 17 years. So we had legacy investors that just wanted liquidity and turned over the stock. And now we're pulling together all these big announcements on the funding for the construction of the project. So as we continue to hit those marks and make big press releases, we expect the stock to perform quite nicely.
Okay, and we are a group of traders and investors here, so we're interested in both. And just kind of looking at the chart, actually, it looks like the chart is kind of set up here. Nice little move coming off the bottom. So followed by all of this good news, got to think that that's going to bode well going forward here. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with investors before we wrap this up here today?
Yeah, I guess the final comment is that potash is an oligopoly. You have three countries, Canada, Russia, Belarus, that supply over 80% of the world's potash. And half the world's potash today comes from countries that are sanctioned or at war. So this, again, is a critical mineral. It's a nutrient that's essential to grow food. And our project is located in the backyard of the world's largest, fastest growing consumer. So our cost to extract, process, and deliver this critical mineral is going to be less than just the transportation cost alone for everyone else.
Okay. Matt Simpson, CEO of Brazil Potash. That's ticker GRO. Matt, thanks for getting up and sharing the news with us this morning. Good luck going forward, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, that is Matt Simpson. Good stuff here. And yeah, that's right, Buffalo by Bicycle. We're going to keep trying to get you as many guests as possible. Like I said, we can give you our opinion, but bringing you information directly from the guest, that's how we do things around here. We will keep trying to do that. Really good stuff. And we thank Matt for taking time out of his day here today. Here's a look at GRO. We actually did have a recent pop here. I was mentioning how the daily chart is actually setting up. He mentioned how this is kind of a turnaround here, down from its $15 IPO. The chart looks great here. Really does look like it's bottomed out. Now we're starting to make some good moves to the upside here, being accompanied with good news. All signs are a go here. Really good stuff from Matt there. Okay, how are we doing here on time? Perfect. 8:33. We are still rolling. I do have a couple of more news items to go through here today before we bring 13 on. We're going to take a look at some of the movers that we got going on here today, and we're going to set up for the trading day. The first thing that I wanted to do is the other thing that happened yesterday. I didn't see any of this because I was way too tied up with a whole bunch of the football stuff that was going on. But the other thing that happened is that Trump appeared on 60 Minutes. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of those different things here for you. President Trump has aggressively defended his economic report, pointing to a surging stock market to counter concerns that inflation and high grocery prices are hurting everyday Americans. While speaking to CBS's Nora O'Donnell, the president repeatedly linked the strong economy and a total national security footing to his aggressive use of the tariffs. He argued that his tariff policies were responsible for bringing in $17 trillion in new investment to the U.S., which he claimed would benefit the average worker. When asked how the investment would trickle down, Trump replied, because of jobs, because they are building plants. The president, stop me if you've heard this before, but the president also blamed the inflation on Biden. The president, who claimed the stock market had just hit a new all-time high 48 times in the 9 months of his second term, dismissed the idea that inflation is an ongoing problem, blaming any high inflation prices on the previous administration. Quote, "No, you're wrong. They went up under Biden. Right now, they're going down," end quote. That was Trump admitting that the beef prices were an exception, but he has a plan to work on that. Take that with a grain of salt. He also mentioned that he got, quote, everything he wanted from the China trade deal. The interview, which took place at Mar-a-Lago on October 31st, also covered a recent deal with China, federal government shutdown and foreign policy. Trump said he got sort of everything that we wanted, end quote, including an end to the rare earth threat and securing billions and billions of dollars through tariffs. Trump claimed that the market gains were directly benefiting working families through the retirement accounts. Comments came after O'Donnell noted that, quote, not everybody's invested in the stock market, end quote, and that may have seen grocery prices go up. Trump acknowledged that, saying, look, 401ks, people have their 401ks. Their 401ks are double what they were a year ago. Trump also addressed the AI bubble. No word if he addressed my awesome costume from Friday, but he did address the AI bubble. When asked by O'Donnell at the end of the interview if he's worried about a potential AI bubble in the stock market, Trump was concise, quote, I guess I worry about everything, you know. I worry and then I fix it, end quote. Oh, can't help it. Can't help it. Okay, that was basically a wrap up of the Trump 60-minute interview. We do have here one more story that I wanted to get through. Actually, I think I've got two more here. Yeah, we want to talk about Berkshire next. U.S. says China agreed to effectively eliminate restrictions on rare earth mineral exports following the trade truce. This is what we just kind of touched on there. The White House disclosed details of the trade deal reached between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Among other things, China has agreed to effectively eliminate the restrictions it imposed on rare earth minerals exports in October. The suspension will also cover the issuance of rare earth, gallium, germanium, antimony, and graphite, with the goal of supporting U.S. end users and their international supply chains. The Trump administration said the decision effectively rolls back the restrictions that China implemented in October of 2022 and April of 2025. The White House has also chosen to suspend the proposed 100% tariffs and delay other duties on Chinese goods for 1 year. China's rare earth mineral export restrictions have been a point of contention between the U.S. and China in the trade relationship. The meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping at the sidelines of the APEC summit in Busan, South Korea, paved the way for this significant trade truce. According to Trump, the rare earth issues with China, quote, have been settled, end quote, adding that the agreement will be renegotiated annually. In October, China has tightened its grip on the export of rare earth minerals and related technologies, escalating tensions with Washington. China controls about 70% of rare earth mining, 90% of separation and processing, and 93% of magnet manufacturing. Veteran economist Jeremy Siegel had criticized the U.S. for not having a strategic reserve of rare earth materials to counter China's dominance in the sector. Siegel described the situation as scandalous and warned of China's growing monopoly. On the other hand, analysts Julian Evans Pritchard and Leah Fahey suggested that China's actions were a gamble and could potentially backfire. Evans Pritchard and Fahey warned that the U.S. could further pressure China by restricting access to key aviation components of aircraft and by targeting the reliance on Microsoft Windows system, which powers most Chinese computers. Interesting. In Sunday's 60 Minutes interview with CBS News, Trump stated that the U.S. has tremendous rare earth and it's going to be a strength. So I know that this is really kind of been on a lot of traders and investors' minds. We obviously saw a huge move higher in some of the American rare earth stocks, most notably MP and USAR. Can actually go back to Pro here. We can take a look at those charts. Here's what they look like. Here's USAR to start. You can see we had a huge move here. I'll tell you what, the fib level that we drew on this, pretty perfect. We're actually coming in to some of those fib levels. It does look like USAR is kind of flirting with its 50-day moving average here. I suspect that there will probably be another move in these. I would imagine if we're trying to make ourselves a leader, these will be an area that is helped out by the U.S. government. If we're trying to create and keep a strategic reserve of some of these rare earth materials, I would imagine that bodes well for them. We really kind of come in from this pretty big move higher that we've made in both MP and USAR. MP actually looks a little bit worse. We gave up the 50, back tested it, couldn't break it. Now we're testing the 100 here, still at a pretty decent support level of above $60. So I don't think it's over with these. I don't think that the trade is over. I think we will have another opportunity. Clearly, though, with some of these deals in place, these are going to settle out. We'll see where they settle out. We'll use the chart to tell us whether or not we have a good long or short side trade. I would be curious to know, did any of you, are any of you still trading these? Do you have long-term positions here? Let me know. Let me know what you think about this for a trade going forward in these names. Okay, last one here. It is a Uncle Warren story here. Uncertainty deepens at Berkshire Hathaway as Warren Buffett is getting ready to hand the keys over. As Warren Buffett readies to relinquish his role as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, investors' concerns are mounting, leading to a decline in the company's stock performance over the announcement. That's ticker BRK. Does anyone own or trade BRK, either the Class A or the Class B shares? You'll have to let me know. According to a report, the Berkshire B shares have dipped by 11.5% since Buffett's unexpected announcement in May. The shares, which had been outperforming the S&P 500 by 22.4 percentage points for the year, are now trailing the benchmark index by 10.9 percentage points. However, on Saturday, the company reported a strong rebound in operating profit alongside record high cash reserves and no new share buybacks. Operating profit from the conglomerate's core business, including insurance, railroads, and energy, surged 34% year over year to $13.49 billion in the third quarter, fueled by more than a 200% jump in insurance underwriting income to $2.37 billion. The company shared that it did not repurchase any shares in the first 9 months of 2025. Berkshire's Class A and Class B shares have each gained about 5% this year. That's trailing the S&P 500 16.3% gain. As per the report by CNBC, analysts at Keefe, Bruyette, and Woods voiced their concerns, downgrading their rating on Berkshire's A shares from market perform to underperform, and reducing their price target to $700,000 from $740,000. Their primary attribute, they primarily attribute the stock's underperformance to Buffett's impending exit. The analyst also underscored what they refer to as Berkshire's historically unique succession risk, alluding the company's dependence on Buffett's reputation and the potential lack of disclosure that may deter investors once he steps down. The incoming CEO, Greg Abel, may not enjoy the same leniency from Wall Street in Buffett's absence. Despite these concerns, some are optimistic that Berkshire's operating companies will continue to generate substantial cash flow, regardless of Buffett's departure. North Star Group's Henry Asher expressed confidence in the continuity of businesses, even as Abel's stock-picking ability doesn't match Buffett's record. It's also been confirmed that Abel will be writing the annual letter to shareholders starting next year, a task previously undertaken by Buffett. The impending CEO transition at Berkshire Hathaway marks a significant shift in the company's leadership. Buffett's departure could potentially impact investor confidence, given his long-standing influence and success in the company. The underperformance of Berkshire stock since the announcement of Buffett's exit underscores the investor anxiety surrounding this change, and the ability of the new CEO, Greg Abel, to uphold the company's performance and maintain investors' trust in the post-Buffett era remains to be seen. So again, I know that this is not necessarily a trader stock. I know several of the folks that we've worked with here, I think actually including 13, has owned some of the Class B shares. Just curious to see what we think on Berkshire. The big key, the big takeaway for me is that when Warren Buffett would talk about stocks and talk about themes and talk about things he was interested in, that was notable. And it seems like that's all going away. And like the article says here, I'm not sure if we're going to get the same type of punch or impact from Greg Abel. I guess his track record will eventually tell the story. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. All right. You guys want to get to some movers? We don't have 13 yet, but I just might start on my own. How about that? Let's see if you guys answered any of my questions here real quick. Biden would have been a much better president if he was younger. Yeah, if he had a working brain in 50 years ago, he probably would have. I actually agree with that, Zach. CLF supposedly tooling, and you're not in it, but you will accumulate MP at lower levels. Okay, Brian, so you like MP more than USAR, and you're just going to kind of be patient there. I actually think that's the way to go on that. Michelle says, I think all these old people need to go. Okay, that was about something else. Jane says, good riddance, Warren. Get out of here. Get out of here, Warren. That's funny. You're going to want to take a look at CIFR here today. All right, let's go ahead and cover that. We'll see. Is that 13? Did he just show up? He did. Oh, you guys are in luck. You guys are in luck. All right, let me get over to the movers tool here. Okay, this actually looks different than the last time I took a look at it. Okay, we are going to have to go through some of this. Let's not waste any more time. Let's bring on 13 and see how he's doing. 13, happy Monday, buddy. How you doing here today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad to be starting a new month, new week with everybody. Looking forward to my favorite time of year. How about you?
Yeah, let me tell you something, dude. We are already in my favorite time of year. The weather here has been extremely cooperative for Halloween. It feels like fall. It feels like football weather. We got the time change. I got an extra hour of sleep. I'm totally jacked. Things are good, man. Things are good. We've got Thanksgiving coming up now, then Christmas and New Year's. Man, this is without a doubt my favorite time of year.
You asked me like a couple of weeks ago, how's the weather out here? And I was still telling you it was nice, pretty warm. And then literally like a day or two later, we had that big shift that happens out here where we have fall weather for about a week. And then we go right into winter. So I'm enjoying the fall weather right now.
So this is your 1 week of enjoyment.
This is my 1 week of fall.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
and now we're going to go straight into winter right afterwards.
So, okay. Well, you'll have to let me know. I'm going to hope that you get an extra week or two of fall. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. I absolutely love the color change of the leaves. My office is basically set inside of this tree right outside my place. And it goes through the most spectacular color change. And every day, the tree is a different color. And I get treated to this in the fall. It's absolutely awesome. And then in the spring, all of the flowers bloom. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Take a picture of the tree like the first day of every month.
I should.
And create a whole collage for an entire year.
I actually should do that, honestly. I should have thought about that. It really is cool. I'm amused by simple things. I don't know what to say. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with some of the movers here. The first one I had on the list here is CHACR. This is Crane Harbor Acquisition. This was not on the list when I first looked at this.
But that's the rights. If you're looking for Crane Harbor Acquisition, just the company, the SPAC, jet company, that's CHAC.
Thank you, 13. Okay, so this is interesting. So the rights are actually a bigger gain here. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny about this real quick? First of all, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm not even sure what rights are. Like I understand warrants a little bit. I understand units a little bit. I have no idea what rights are. I actually did trade SVIIR. I actually did trade some of these rights not long ago. I think I made like 20 cents on it. Not that big of a deal, but interesting. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start with CHAC. This is Crane Harbor Acquisition. Crane Harbor Acquisition shares are trading higher after the company announced it entered into a combination agreement with Xanadu Quantum Technologies. Is that a real Xanadu for real? Let's go. Xanadu Quantum Technologies to create a pure play photonic quantum computing company. We have another quantum player, don't we?
Not just quantum, but photonic.
Oh.
So because we've been talking about photonics for some time, like we talked about it, like I want to say back in last year, in the middle of last year, we talked about photonics potentially being a big thing for server communication, maybe even larger distances than that. But essentially, it's doing away with the traditional electrical wires and using photonics for data transfer down to the chip level too.
I love that they use the name Xanadu. I absolutely love that. Okay. Christian Weedbrook is your CEO of Xanadu. Our quantum systems compute at true room temperature without cryogenics or laser cooling. All right. So this sounds awesome. Looks like we've got a new quantum and photonics player here. The impulse move got deleted as we've moved higher here in the pre-market. We're actually a little bit away from the VWAP, aren't we? Yeah, about a good 60 cents away from the VWAP. Let's take a look around the horn here. Short interest on this, negligible. 0.18% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. Comes on an average 100-day volume of 128,000 shares. That's nothing. Today we've traded 2.4 million. Floats 22.24 million. What do you got on CHAC?
Unfortunately, not a whole lot, because I was looking at CHACR and I was like, okay, well, what's this about? And when I looked at it, not a whole lot I could find. Then I saw that CHAC was down the list and I was like, there it is. And I didn't really get into this too much because I was too busy looking at FIO, and we can talk about that one. But this is another SPAC I'm going to have to look into as far as when the I don't know if the voting has happened already. That might be the reason why it's moving today, because they said they entered into a combination agreement. I don't know if that's with shareholder approval or not. That's one of the things that has to happen with these SPACs. So give me a little bit more time. I'll dig some more into this. Maybe there's some more upside to be had here on a later day, or this could possibly be it. And we'll just go south from here. I don't know yet, because I haven't really dug into what either of these companies, well, Crane Harbor's a special acquisition, but haven't dug into what Zandu is, and I don't know what the terms of their merger are. But for now, we are trading higher, and it looks like we are looking for the 14 handle. I don't think we've actually printed that high before. Nope, doesn't look like we have. So going to be looking at blue sky territory out of the gate here. Don't know if it's going to go up or down. My first instinct is that we might see selling out of the gate, but there could be some support coming down at around 11.
Okay. All right, got VWAP at 13. All right, good breakdown there. CHAC, we'll see if that moves. I'm going to skip the rights, but if you wanted to trade the rights, just add an R onto the end of that, and there you go. Next one here is going to be FIO. This is ticker PHIO. It's a stock that we have traded a whole bunch of times here on the show. Looks like some of y'all are getting ready for this one. FIO Pharma here. Let's see what the news is on this. FIO Pharma announces positive pathology results. Final maximum dose cohort in INSTASIL PH762 skin cancer trial. So they reported 100% tumor clearance in the final dose of its skin cancer trial. Really, really good news there. At least it sounds like on the surface. Stock's up 112% here at 430. Percent of float shorted here, 4.76%. Boy, if you are short this name this morning, yikes. 3.07 days to cover. We'll see if that's enough to have any type of squeeze action here. Might be possible. We'll see. On average, stock trades 129,000 shares per day. Today it's traded 66 million. The float here, only 5.68 million. So maybe we'll see some fireworks here as we've seen in the past. Ticker PHIO. 13, what do you think of this? Lion Atlas says this is a buy. He's not even waiting for your breakdown. He thinks this is a buy.
Well, they do have, I mean, this company has gone through a lot of capital raises and reverse splits.
Yes, it has.
So that would be the big concern for me with this one. And this is not like, the final phase of anything. This is phase 1B results. There's going to be plenty more clinical trials to be had here. This is just the final dose of a group in that phase 1B trial. So this is for PH762, the drug that they're working on. They have another one that they're also working on, but this is the one that's further along. It's already past its IND, and this is in the clinical phase, as the phase 1B indicates. So there's going to be many more clinical trials to go with this. There's going to be many more capital raises. They're going to probably have to reverse split again. So that's, if this is something you want to hold for the long term, that's great. That's up to you. This seems like this is going to be more of a day trade, and then be out of it and let it do its thing until it needs to raise capital again. It does have about a year of cash. So at this current burn rate, it doesn't look like they're going to need to raise capital. But I don't know what's coming up next for this company, because like I said, this is a phase 1B trial. This is not the only drug they have in the pipeline, and they could raise more money to get their next drug going here too. So I don't know what they're going to do today as far as a capital raise, or if they're going to. I don't think they're going to do any reverse split. Doesn't make sense. But a capital raise, maybe, but I don't think it's likely because like I said, they have a year of cash. So any action like that today seems a little less likely, but it's not going to be something they don't do in the future. They absolutely will do it because this company is not doesn't have revenue. They burn through cash, and they're a biotech. They're going to have to raise capital at some point.
They're going to have to fund those trials somehow, and those phases. So here's the thing. This stock has done a reverse split 6 times since 2013. It looks like they're on pace for about every 2 years to do some type of reverse stock split. They range from a 1 to 9 to a 1 to 55. So good that they don't look like they need to do it right away, but just keep in mind what this thing has done with the history. Really good breakdown there. We are up 100%. Maybe we get a pullback here to VWAP. That would actually be also near the high of an impulse move. So 375 actually looks pretty good. We are flagging up here, and this impulse move did take us pretty much out of this sideways area. I would say, maybe $5 if we can really get some strength. What do you got?
What's happening to me right now, it seems, is like we're trying to get up into this candle from the 13th of January. You can see that we gapped up, and right where we opened on that day is about where the price is right now. So I think that's the resistance we're experiencing at this level. Because if you look at what happened the next day, we also were rejected there.
And this was the previous support area that broke in the past too. So
that 415 area is going to be a support resistance area. It looks like we've come over it now. So now that's going to be support on the way back down 415. Okay.
All right. Good breakdown there. That's PHIO. Good stuff there. Okay. Next here I have TGE. Looks like this is a combination here with AMTD. So AMTD Idea Group demonstrated high growth performance with this. TGE announces a share repurchase program. The Generation Essentials announces a $5 million share buyback program to boost investor value. What else did we have here? AMTD's digital subsidiary, TGE, is in exclusive negotiations to acquire a New York hotel. And it confirms the opening of its world's second L'Official Coffee in Macau. What is this? Sorry, I didn't have any time to go through this one. Business combination between TGE and Mr. Lawrence Ho's Black Spade acquisition. So it looks like these are coffee shops. It looks like they're expanding coffee shops globally over the next 3 years. A third shop is planned in the United States to further strengthen its international brand presence in North America. Okay, that's what's going on here. This stock is a penny stock that's up 49%. I'll let you guys determine if you trust this here. I don't have any float reading or any short interest reading on this. On average, it trades 1.3 million. What'd you have for the float?
29.1 million.
29.1 million. Today we've traded 22.5 million. On average, it trades 1.3 million. What do you got here, 13? Anything?
Looks like we already got some movement on Friday with this one. So we might just be seeing some carryover from that, because on Friday they reported they had a increase of a 1,085% in revenue when they reported their half year results. So I think it's just kind of moving on that. They also had some other news this morning about how they launched a 5 million share buyback program. So I think that just kind of piggybacks on this. I didn't do a real deep dive on this one. The news that you were talking about with AMTD, that's also going to add to it. But I think we're seeing a little bit of carryover from Friday's trading as well, because that had a lot of volume. So it could be that could be adding to this as well. Now, if we do continue to trade back up like we did on Friday, we did hit the 65 EMA on the daily. That was a side of rejection. It was like $3 exactly almost. So I think that's going to be an area we're going to want to keep an eye on today if we do end up getting back up there. It looks like there was also a bit of a resistance area just earlier than that at about 290, 295. So that whole area right there just is a big side of rejection as far as I can tell. But if we get enough volume, maybe we'll push through it.
Okay. I'll say this did move pretty good on Friday. Stock was about $1.78, ran above 3, gave everything back, went red, really struggling here this morning. I'll tell you, I would really like to see this take out where it was on Friday.
I think that the starting point from Friday is probably going to be the big resistance area. If it manages to get through that, the one I was talking about with the 65-day EMA, that's going to be the next one.
Okay. All right, there you go. That's TGE. Next here is CRBU. Looks like there's a couple of people in the chat looking at this already. This is Caribou Biosciences. Looks like I'm struggling with the chart here. Let's see if I can get the news here for you on CRBU. CRBU, Caribou Biosciences announces positive data from its Antler phase 1 trial demonstrating efficacy and durability of Vispacell CAR T cell therapy. It's on par. Carcito, sorry. This is for multiple myeloma. That's what I've been looking at. It's for multiple myeloma there. Clinical data from its first dose and escalation on the ongoing camouflage phase 1 trial of the drug. In relapsed or refractory multiple myeloma, the company plans to share the dose expansion data in 2026. So we have positive phase 1 results. They have plans to share some of that data in the next phase here. Stocks up by 48%, 4.13% of the float shorted here on an average days to cover of 2.49. That's on a 100-day average volume of 1 million shares. Today we've traded 44 million. Float on this is 89 million. What do you think here on CRBU?
It seems like they're reporting multiple things here today.
Yeah, it does, and it kind of confused me when I was trying. I don't know why. Let me see if
I didn't go over this one, but from what I can tell, this Antler phase results covered. It looks like they covered multiple drugs. Their CB101. They also had they had CB011. Looks like it maybe just be 2, but it seems like they've had the CB010. Sorry, I said 101. 010 for 2 different trials. Sorry, I didn't go over this one. I might have been able to untangle this cobweb here, but I really don't know exactly which drug I should be focusing on. In any event, it seems like this is positive phase 1 results. Let me look and see what their cash position's like. They lose $54 million a quarter. They don't have that in cash, but they do have that in short-term investments. Probably will end up converting that. So it doesn't seem like they are really in any near-term risk of needing to raise capital. But based on how much they have in short-term investments, and I don't know how long that would take to convert, but it seems like they've got about 3 quarters based on their current cash burn rate. 3 or 4
All right.
quarters.
You got any trading ideas for this one? Because I'm going to get to the Amazon news next here.
Go ahead and go to the Amazon news. I can come back with levels when we get closer to the open.
Yeah, I was going to say we can come back and do some of the levels here. Here's your Amazon news. Amazon pumping in the pre-market here. We've got looks like a deal here with OpenAI on Amazon. So, oh my goodness. They signed a $38 billion infrastructure deal with Amazon Web Services. That's OpenAI. This launching Amazon here up by just about 5.75%, up 14 points on the back of that deal. Amazon, thank you, EKS here. Amazon will provide NVIDIA chip clusters to OpenAI for 7 years. Amazon joins Microsoft, Oracle, and Google as an OpenAI cloud provider. $38 billion deal. AMZN there. Okay, Big Pop. Izzy, were you swinging this over the weekend? Because if so, or for anyone else really swinging Amazon over the weekend, giddy up. That's looking pretty good here today. Big Pop. Let's see, where do we go next here on this? Got a nice little breakout. Looks like a blue sky breakout here on Amazon. Woo.
A $38 billion partnership. Okay. I mean, it seems like all you got to do is just say, hey, we're working with OpenAI. Boom, stock goes up. The stock goes up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tens of millions. Jeez. Okay. Let me look at the chart here with Amazon. So would we have another archipelago happening here on the daily chart?
Sorry, I was going through the press release here. Do we really have another archipelago?
Yeah. We created an island on Friday. Now we're creating
we did. Cam says OpenAI is going to be crazy when it goes public. What was the $1 trillion valuation or something like that?
And it's going to suck so much money out of everything else.
Yeah, it is, and rightfully so. And that, you know what though, I actually think that might set us up for. I think that might be good long term. Honestly, that might kind of serve as a reset without everything getting clobbered.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot to go through in there,
really good stuff here. For anyone that is interested, here is the actual press release directly from OpenAI. If you want to dig through that and find some other gems from it, that would be awesome. There you go. That news. Well, I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of like news happen while we were on the show here this morning. We had the Iran news right before we went live. We had Kenvue getting bought by Kimberly Clark this morning prior to going live. Now we've got the Amazon OpenAI deal right as we're going out. Yeah, Jay, that's right. So much for Bezos selling.
I'll just get a grant for more shares later.
I mean, he's still got an absolute ton, doesn't he? He's under 1 billion shares right now, isn't he?
Oh God, what is
Did he finally break under 1 billion? Yeah, Jeff Bezos, he only has 889 million shares of Amazon. We might need to start a GoFundMe for him just to make sure that he doesn't go away. Of course, I'm kidding here. Look at this move here on Amazon. Above the impulse high from the earnings on Thursday. Giddy up, Amazon. Woo.
So are we expecting to see this sell off at the open like it did on Friday, or are we going to continue to climb?
You guys tell me. I would suspect that you'd get a gap and go here. The market's kind of turning up. The NASDAQ was already leading the way higher here in the pre-market. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a little bit of a gap and go. But what I would rather have, 13, I love the question that you're asking. What I would rather have, I'd rather have a pullback. Give me a pullback here, maybe 254, maybe even a little bit better. Maybe give me 250.
Yeah, maybe we do get more upside because compared to Friday, the news was in the after hours the day before, and it carried over into the morning. This is right now in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this does get sold a little for some profit taking.
Comes it back down into that, more of the
I think
the area where the Friday's highs were.
Yeah, that's Izzy. You dip by Amazon all the time. You have a feel for this. What is the level? What are you looking to do here? For I know you said you're swinging this from like 230 or whatever that was. Let me know. Let me know what the area to dip by Amazon. If we get profit taking out of the gate, what's the area to add here for another potential move higher? You'll have to just let me know. Wild stuff here. A lot of news here this morning. Okay. The other one that I really quickly wanted to cover here was going to be CIFR. We've had so much news here. It's actually taken a bit here. ICB is asking, when is OpenAI going public? It looks like you reversed that a little bit there. When is
maybe next year?
Maybe next year. I think 2026. I think Databricks, OpenAI, and Anthropic all going to be 2026 stories, but probably not OpenAI. Probably not till the second half of 2026. I think we get Databricks early in the year. We'll see though. I'm just speculating right now. We'll see. So hard with these levels to make calls now. Okay, well, we need to figure that out here pretty soon because the market's going to open in 22 minutes. The next piece of news here that I wanted to go over real quick is on ticker CIFR. This is Cipher Mining. You can see this is having a really, really good day. It's up 26% here. Cipher Mining shares are trading higher after the company announced a $5.5 billion 15-year lease agreement with Amazon Web Services to provide 300 megawatts of turnkey space and power for AI workloads. Well, I guess this is really good timing with this PR, especially with the OpenAI investment. This is ramping. The impulse move on this looks like it hit 24. We're about to take that out here. We are pretty extended away from the VWAP. I've got VWAP at 2137, so we'll see if we come in a little bit on that too. But man, oh man, really good stuff. This company also had earnings, it looks like. So we had adjusted EPS of 10 cents. That beat the 2 cent loss estimate. Now sales missed a little bit here. 71.7 million missed the 78.6 million estimate. So good business update, good news there with Amazon Web Services, and it looks like decent earnings. Cipher Mining plus 27%. Really quick, peek around the horn, 23.12% of the float shorted with 1.1 days to cover. Comes on an average 100-day volume of 42.4 million. Today we've traded 16 million prior to the open. Float's a little bit thicker on this one, 283 million. What do you think here on CIFR 13? Think we find some resistance up here at 23.89 and back off? Maybe we break that and go higher.
I was just kind of looking to see where areas for support are, because this thing could just go on an absolute rip. But $22 looks like that would be the support area if this decided to come back in. So this company is going to be providing 300 megawatts to Amazon. Am I understanding that correctly, or is Amazon providing? Okay.
Yes, they're providing 300 megawatts of turnkey space and power for AI workloads. So they're going to help Amazon process that. Let me check. Let me see if there's anything else from this I can look into.
Yeah, I'm just kind of maybe I need to just do my own digging. I'm just kind of wondering, where Cipher Mining is getting that power. What, I guess I just have more questions because this is, it seems great, but this just seems. I just don't get where I don't know enough about Cipher Mining, I guess.
Cipher will deliver 300 megawatts of capacity in 2026, including both air and liquid cooling to the racks. The capacity will be delivered in 2 phases, expected to begin in July of 2026 and complete the 4th quarter of 2026, with rent commencing in August of 2026.
Oh, this is in Texas. Okay.
You should go down there, or we should meet down there and check it out.
If I'm going to go to any of these sites that are, building up these data centers, it's probably going to be that Alcoa one first.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we talked about that.
So, because, Riot and BitDeer are over there, and probably more are going to end up coming over there. So it's going to have to be a road trip for sure. I've got a lot of things I got to do all over the state. I still need to go see the Starship launch. Yeah, this will be one of those things. We
should make plans. I'd be interested in doing some of that with you. So we should see if we can make plans for that. That'd be interesting here.
Sure. But as far as this one goes, yeah, I mean, that's what I would have here is the support area is at 22. See how far. Let me just look at the chart, see if there's anything I can, looks like 23.90. That was the high in the what is this, the pre-market? So. That's the area. 24 is the area we're hammering. I feel like if we do come back down here, like we are right now, if we get that support at 22, let's see it turn around and try and take out 24 the next time up. I think that's kind of what we're building up towards right now, as long as we can hold above 22.
It looks like already we're kind of carving out a double top here. But to your point, it'll be very interesting to see where this settles.
Yeah, it could be a double top, could be a cup with handle. We just need to see if it turns around 22.
Yeah. Okay. CIFR.
Field trip. Yeah.
I'm all for some cool field trips. I'm all for it. Okay. All right. Was there anything else off this that we need to take a look at? I feel like I got sidetracked there. IRE. This is your 2x long ETF for IREN. That's having a huge pop here. American Resources had some news. This is AREC. Remember, I talked when we were first talking about this theme here with some of these resources. We talked about AREC. It was, I think this was in the 2 or the 3 handle. Went up to 7, came back in. Now it looks like we're on the move again here. American Resource shares are trading higher after the company announced a $1.4 billion joint partnership with the U.S. Department of War to expand ReElement Technologies' domestic rare earth magnet supply chain in partnership with Vulcan Elementals. This stock's up 44% on the back of that. I'd like to go into this a little bit more.
Looks like 6, 6.15, and 7 are going to be your upside resistance areas. Real quick, I just saw that. So Lance Black, he says he lives in Rockdale, Texas. This is the exact Alcoa site that I was talking about. Yes, they have converted into bit mining. Riot, ticker RIT, is out there. That's where they have their site. BitDeer, BTDR, is also out there. That's where they have their site. And there's going to be adding a lot more. I don't know which companies yet, but you have all these old Alcoa plants, and it could be for smelting aluminum. or power generation, whatever have you. But they've taken these old power plants and they're converting them into data centers because they already have the telecoms and electrical utility infrastructure in place for these massive data center systems. So it's a repurposing that they're doing. And this is something that I expect to continue to see with Alcoa and other companies like it that are have these old sites that are no longer in use by the company, but they have these large, long leases from utility companies that data centers absolutely need to have.
Okay.
There you go.
Sounds like we have a huge field trip to do out there. I'm not going to lie. It sounds like we have a lot of stuff on our list there to take a look at. Okay. Should have no shortage of things to trade here.
No.
Looks like Tharimmune is running right now. Looks like this is recent. We've traded this one before too. Tharimmune announces a private placement of approximately $540 million led by DRW and Liberty City Ventures to establish Canton Coin Treasury Strategy. So the $540 million private placement to fund a new blockchain strategy. Day trader, you know what I'm going to ask you is, do you recognize this coin at all? Or token?
Be careful. This is a private placement, but they might also do a share dilution as well on top of this.
Yeah.
They already, because last month they filed to sell more. So I would be careful of a potential, of a potential capital raise through not just private placement, but also with share dilution. So I just need to be careful with this one.
The private placement was at 307.5. Canton blockchain technology is reshaping the financial infrastructure by introducing programmability, privacy, and interoperability at scale. Interoperability, excuse me. So this is it. Unlike digital asset treasuries focused solely on token acquisition, upon the closing of the offering, the company intends to execute a diverse strategy that, along with CC acquisition via capital markets, includes generation of CC rewards by applying a super. This is all just a word salad. God, I thought you were getting to something there. What junk? All right, we'll see. Tharimmune popping on that. It's ticker THAR. Stock is up by 57%. God, where was this? We traded that. Yeah, this was back at the end of August. Okay, so it actually looks like this $5 is going to be a key area if we can stay above this. And it's running into some resistance right there. I'd watch 5. Do you have anything else on this one?
Let me see here. I was looking at.
Okay, you've never heard of the Canton Blazed Rhino, LOL. Day trader, you've never heard of the Canton coin. Okay, well.
Looks like we're coming into some consolidation here for THAR as soon as we hit 5. So looks like we're in that consolidation for a good period of time until about 620. Then it eases up a bit. Seems like we did back in August. We did try to get into the 10 handle. We got as high as 908. Haven't been back up there since, despite another attempt to get up there. We couldn't even get up to 8 the next attempt. So I would think that based on this, the 620 area looks like the next big resistance area. And then after that, probably not until, and I'm just using the daily chart, probably not until about $7, close to $7, I would say the next resistance is. Okay,
nice pop above 5. Let's see if we can hold above 5. This one can get wild. We've seen this one before. Keep that one on your list. Okay, MSAI. This is another one. This is one from last week that we traded a little bit. Looks like it popped here today. We actually, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because this formed a trend line. This gives us a target to go to if we end up taking out the VWAP and continuing to move higher. Multi-sensor AI holdings. Did we have news on this one?
No.
Nope. So
I think it's just more of a Momo play because this thing has been moving a lot last week on nothing either.
Yeah, I think this is probably just a continuation. DAR continuing to move higher. Okay, and then someone else asked earlier if you have any levels on the IREN. We covered the news here about IREN and the $9.7 billion AI cloud services agreement with Microsoft. But do you have any spots on the chart or key levels that you have identified? Sorry to put you on the spot there if you don't have that ready.
Well, we're really close to one of them, 74.15, which is the high from August 15th. So that's going to be one level that I'd be keeping an eye on. After that, it doesn't look like you have a whole lot more. Let me look at a larger time frame, because I don't know how far.
That's your blue sky breakout up there. If we take that out,
so you've already looked, and there's nothing. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it for me then. It's just the current high that we have, maybe 74 even could be a level, but 74.15 is the high. We're not that far away. It seems to me like you'd be wanting to know more about levels to the downside than to the upside at this point. So for that, we're going to have, let's see here. We do have the 9 and the 15 EMAs, although I'm not sure I'd be really looking at those because those are pretty far away. 66 looks like the next big support area from here. 70, sure. I think 70 will be one as well. But after 70, 66 looks like the big one.
Yep. I'm with you on that. I've got a trend line here through that high that we made on October 28th. That puts us at about 65. See if that provides any support. Okay. Getting another question here. If you can take a look at NUAI. Here's what NUAI looks like on the daily chart there. Did we have any news on this here today? I don't think so. Nope. The last piece of news we had was from Thursday of last week. The stock still holding higher here by about 4.32%. It's been on a pretty huge run recently. I know you didn't ask me, but one of the things that we would really like to break here, maybe 630 to the upside, have a recent high here was what, 671? So 630, 671.
To the upside, I think you're going to watch for resistance at 620, and then those are the two earliest ones I see, 6 and 620. You could even, maybe even throw in 630, 635 in there, since that was kind of I think that was the top from Friday, I believe. But anyway, then I would just kind of lean into some of the highs from the past week. I don't think. What was the level you said?
On NUAI here?
Yeah, did you go further back all the way to the left there?
No, I'm basically looking at where these candles peaked out here. I had this between 620 and 630.
Yeah, 620 is a big one. I like that one. So I don't know what we're going to get beyond 620. We could go higher. 671 was the high from October 27th. But as we were just saying, 6 and 620, those look like those are the big resistance areas to get over now.
Okay. All right, that does it for pretty much all of the movers.
We're getting some notification about IDAI having some news.
Yeah, there was a little bit of news there. I had said yesterweek. I had said last week I suspect that there's going to be more news flow out of this company. Looks like that's the case. The news that we got here, they announced a wallet of wallets as a component for its new cryptocurrency and asset tokenization initiative. We kind of expected this, and this is all good, but this is not what we're really waiting for news on a contract, an expansion of some of the existing deals that they have with their identification and authentication contracts already. That, I think, is really what's going to cause the stock to reprice much higher. Obviously, we haven't gotten that. News is good, but we've seen when we look at some of these other stocks, especially ones that we've been following for a while, there's some news that's better than others. Doesn't look like we've got the really good news here yet. That's my read through on it so far. And it looks like we also had some insider stuff here, but that was way back from May. Let's see what the form was.
This was somebody getting shares?
Yeah, but
restricted units?
I don't know that this is really going to cause the stock to move here today.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with the movement we're seeing.
And what's interesting here? So, Zach, you had mentioned that this got a pop here. This is interesting. Yeah, there was someone on this. There was someone that bid this much higher in the pre-market. I hadn't taken a look at the news, so I don't even know if that was out here. That bid, yeah, they bid 438, I think. Maybe it was 440. They were bidding much higher. They got filled. That buyer got taken out. And it actually looks like this traded as high as 449 in the pre-market before coming. I don't know if this news is really going to do it here for IDAI, but nonetheless, more good stuff in the pipe.
And the CEO doesn't really pump his stock, does he?
No, he doesn't.
So yeah, you're not going to get a lot of follow through on any of the big developments. Maybe it has to be super big before he starts saying something. But yeah, you don't really hear much from the CEO on movement.
Okay. All right, that's it for the movers here. I think we're ready to go. Open this thing. I'm ready to go on a Victory Monday.
Let's go. That was a wild game,
dude. You don't even. I mean, the sounds that were coming from my home yesterday, I shudder to think if someone was like outside not knowing what was going on. I went through a full range of emotions, man. Full range of emotions in that game. I was fist pumping. I was excited. I was talking about what I'm going to do on a Victory Monday. Then I was knocking on every piece of wood I could find because I thought I made an early call. Then I was in multiple text threads. I was swearing at people. Oh man, it was something else. It was something else. Then I heard after the game, some of the players were saying that right when the Bengals kicked off, Caleb looked at his offense and he said, "Guys, they left me too much time." And then that happened. They ended up with it. I mean, I was beside myself. But I'm happy to be I'm happy to be here. Real quickly, let me try and land this plane, get it back to stocks here. Sorry, go ahead.
THAR. This is trying to get through 713 here. Large seller in the way. The buyers are trying to hit this guy right now. It looks like they just got rejected, but this area right here at about 743, 745. Buyers are trying to get over that hump, that hurdle there. Couldn't do it.
Did you look at THAR? Yes, we did, Bob. We looked at everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now.
Yep, we sure did. How about the Bills game? Yep, I like that too.
That was great.
Wanted to see the Bills get that dub.
Yeah, wanted to see. Well, I mean, there are other people that were rooting for the other team to go down, but that's just the way some people are.
Yeah,
PHIO, by the way. This is trying to turn around here as we approach the open, still beneath VWAP.
Holy smokes! I almost can't believe this. I have a comment I agree with here on Pete. I'm pinching myself to make sure I'm awake, but I completely agree. Any week that Mahomes loses is a great week, and that is exactly what we got yesterday. 100% in agreement with that. Okay, really quickly, I wanted to talk about Meta here. Lion, you were saying about how Meta looks good right here. Let's go right. I'm buying Meta. I hate that slimy mark, but I like Meta at this price. Okay, well, that's good.
Lion, those Oakley glasses are just hot.
That's fantastic.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Those Oakley glasses are hot.
They do look sweet. I liked glasses like that when I was a kid. I still need to read more about what kind of golf stuff it does, but that's neither here nor there. Here's my question for Lion. So you said that you're buying this today. This to me looks like a clean break of the 200-day and a clean break of this trend line here. So what I would be looking at, just trying to be as prudent as I can, where is the buy spot? I mean, does it maybe trade down towards 625? Does it fill this gap down to 605? Which also, by the way, the 600 has a pretty huge volume point of control level.
MSAI is starting to move. Sorry.
It's okay. Let me know where the buy spot is here. I know you said right now, but I'm looking for a spot on the chart where we can feel pretty good about entry. I got to think the 625 area. And I don't know if we're going to get the weakness here today. S&P futures, by the way, trading higher here. This is actually at the morning highs, 0.48% to the upside. So
2 closes.
How do I have 17 missed messages?
2 closes beneath the 200-day SMA. I would want to see some recapturing happen before I think I would take a long position. That's just me, though. I feel like Meta still has a little bit more room down to go. It wouldn't surprise me if we went to 600.
All right, I got a little worried there. I said I had 17 missed notifications from work. I about had a heart attack. Okay. All right. Ryan, it's hard to know the bottom, but I will dollar cost average. Okay. Meta, believe it or not, had the best revenue growth of the 6 Mag 7s that are reported, up 26%. You know, the other thing, Jay, is that they had the biggest capital expenditures growth too, didn't they? Tess says, hilarious. Reminds me of a story with my husband screaming curse words watching football, and I was out in front gardening, and a neighbor walked by with her child. I apologized, but they were.
You are seeing a lot of people on the Facebook marketplace now. Like, it's actually pretty impressive how many people are on and using that thing. And I'm finding out how many people are actually using it. And they're selling a lot of stuff on there for absolutely nothing. So, and I think as people, we've got experience. Oh, we just opened. I think as people experience job losses and some struggles making ends meet, you're going to see a lot more selling on Meta's Facebook platform with their marketplace. So that would be a bullish angle for me with Meta. Just need to see some recovery happen first for me.
Okay, so almost using that as a indicator. I kind of like that.
Jane, it's I think it's even more than the old Craigslist at this point. It's kind of like the new eBay in a sense. That's just my take on it. Anyway, let's look at some movers that are going here. So look at THAR. We're starting to leak out of the open here, trying to hold above the VWAP. MSAI, this popped just before the open to $2, came back in, found its footing around 190, and it's starting to move again. CRBU hasn't really gotten going yet. TGE, nothing there. PHIO, this is trying to get over 375, large seller on the way there. And CHAC, that blank check company, the SPAC, looks like that pulled shortly before we opened, trying to hold above VWAP.
Okay. THAR really pulling back here. 584 is going to be your VWAP on THAR. I have 584 in my broker. I've got 607 here in the pre-market.
MSAI with the best looking movement so far. I mean, it's not that great either. 1 second here. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, it looks like I'm in a little bit of a catch-up issue here. Sorry for the dead air here. Trying to figure some stuff out.
Looks like FIO starting to go red now after getting rejected by VWAP. And there weren't a whole lot of names to really look at that had some great movement either. MSAI, on the other hand, is moving higher.
MSAI.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, indeed, right through the VWAP. Nice power move through the VWAP there. My God, gigantic pull in Ondas. Holy cow.
It's starting to get a little bit of a pull in MSAI.
I got stopped at a rocket on Friday, by the way. I told you guys I was stopping out my trailer there. That did, in fact, happen. Amazon looks like that did pull a little bit at the open and is already bouncing. We talked about a spot there. Didn't have a good level here. Amazon looks pretty good, though.
Looks like FIO is trying to go positive here. Just moved back above VWAP, trying to get through this seller at 375. They're hitting it. Looks like they took a piece of it, but couldn't get over. RGTZ. So Rigetti, this Rigetti has been selling out of the open here. lifting RGTZ up. It was an interesting series of movements we had yesterday for RGTI. I took it up to the 200-day SMA, but now we are getting rejected at that same location today. If this comes down, since we closed twice over 41 in the past couple of trading days, I think that $41 level is going to be a support area. So watch for the price to come down to that. Ideally, we'd like to see the breakdown there, but I think we're going to initially get support.
Okay. A lot of stuff pulled out of the open here, including the market. S&P futures
TGE.
pulled. Which one?
TGE. This just popped up to its 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Low volume though. And CRBU, this one is hitting the support area of 310 that we pointed out. Got a hold here, I think, with CRBU. Otherwise, it's going to be a whole series of ugliness.
CRBU.
Mm-hmm. Gold pull out of the gate.
Oh, yeah, that does look bad. Yeah. So, yeah, just some pretty big pulls here. Ondas obviously pulled. Apple pulled. Netflix pulled, although that's still holding its 200. Amazon looks like it's trying to go higher. Bitcoin pulled a little bit off the high.
So it looks like FIO ended up getting rejected at VWAP, going lower. Got a pullback here with MSAI after that hit 210. That's beneath its VWAP again.
There's MSAI.
Looks like THAR.
Yeah.
THAR, watch to see if this support kicks in here. We're going to want to see a recapture of VWAP. Resistance is going to be at about 610 here with THAR. That's about a little bit above VWAP as well.
Cypher looks like this is going towards 24 again. That's CIFR. That's actually a nice little dip and rip there.
Yeah, so this next visit up to 24, I think this is the one we're going to see this break through 24 here. I think this is the one because we already had that initial test early in the pre-market. We had one just about 20 minutes before we opened, and now here we are trying to get through it on this third attempt. We're right there too.
MSAI pulled back. Okay, I'm going to put CIFR back on the screen here. I got to step away for just a sec here. 13.
Sounds good. We'll just keep an eye on CFR.
Yep.
CIFR.
BRB 1 sec.
Okay. So we're looking for that break of 24. It did get as high as 23.90 in the pre-market. So, here we are. We're right there at that pre-market high. 23.87, just a few cents away. You can see this if you have level 2 data. You can see the seller hanging out at 24. Got to take that out, and then we'll probably see some nice movement. Don't know if we'll stick around, but should see a nice move over that $24 level if we get the volume. RGTZ continues higher. It was just over 12 a moment ago. TGE trying to turn around, recapture VWAP. And there we go, CIFR through 24. How about that? Let's see, where are we going to go with CIFR now that we've broken through 24? I think that we figured out earlier that was blue sky, I think. I'll double check with Ryan when he gets back. CIFR. New highs. Yep. Rocket time. All right. Go back to some of these other ones. THAR, another rejection. VWAP. MSAI bounced off the 200 EMA on the 5-minute, trying to recapture some of these other levels like the 65 EMA and VWAP. It's currently trading beneath both of those. Looks like FIO is trying to turn around. We got that breakout with Cypher. It broke through 24.17.
And pulled,
It's since pulled back, but it hasn't pulled back too significantly. You really need to see this climb back over 24. Could go on a bit of a run here as long as this type of volume that we're getting stays intact.
Two biggest volume traders right now are the penny stock MSPR and then KView. So it looks like KView dipped to its 65 EMA and bounced. What were you going to say, 13? Sorry.
I was going to mention that IREN reversed off of 71. It's trying to recapture its VWAP.
REN.
FIO has recaptured its VWAP. It's trying to go higher now. There we go. A little bit more altitude with FIO. Might run into some resistance where it was kind of going sideways in the pre-market. So maybe 420 to 450 going to be a little bit of a tough area for FIO to get through. So we'll see if that's what ends up happening here. Starting to get a little bit of a pull on FIO.
Tesla, big power move higher. Seeing Amazon calls and puts getting bought here. Can't determine any direction on Amazon. Been kind of disappointing from the open.
Rigetti still is approaching 42. Okay, it just went through 42. Might get some support here, but it is still moving down off of the 20-day SMA pretty quickly here, making its way towards 41, where I think there's going to be support. MSAI still trying to recapture the 65 EMA and VWAP, but it is trading lower still. Cypher still trying to get up into that 24 area. It was a nice brief moment up there that it had, but trying to get back up into it.
Yeah, Nasty Candle is right on the ES futures. Big pullback here in the market. ES futures really leading the way down here. NASDAQ following it. We'll see if this bottoms out here.
Was there news?
I think so. Sorry, I'm trying to do way too many things at once.
FIO got support from its VWAP on this current candle. It's moving through some of the smaller EMAs. Still looking for that 420 area to have some resistance, though. Might even start earlier around $4, but we're coming up to the resistance area in FIO. So
nope, no new news on that pull. That's just trading action from the open here. A lot of stuff pulling back. This is why we wait out that morning print there.
It looks like CRBU is trying to turn around and recapture its VWAP. It's going to need more volume, though. THAR, this looks like it's going to go lower. I would say the 65 EMA is the next support area. MSAI is trying everything it can to not lose its 200 EMA on the 5-minute. NUAI, this just turned around, had a nice reversal candle going up through the VWAP. Need to see more volume here, but $6 has a resistance, has a seller in the way. So $6 is going to be resistance unless we get some big volume here to take it out. Turn trying to break 1450.
Now that's TERN, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so this one has been a slow climber this morning. I don't know if there's any news, but this ran up to 1509 just before we opened, and it's kind of been going sideways since then. Came off of 1509. Now just kind of hanging out around the 1420s, 1430s.
Okay. I don't see anything great here. I'm wondering about this Amazon dip, if it can hold 255. Maybe we make another run back up towards the highs. Don't feel great about it, though. Lost its VWAP.
THAR is going to halt down.
Uh-oh.
And it's halted.
All right. THAR halted to the downside.
And we also might get that same thing with MSAI.
Yeah, I didn't feel good about messing with this one here today. I guess I'm glad I avoided that.
It looked like it might have it might be going into a halt, but now that I'm looking at the volume, maybe not. But it did have a pretty big move down. It's trying to recapture the 200 EMA right now.
VIX 1785. Wouldn't say that it's spiking, but it's definitely trading up.
NUAI, it popped over 6, took that seller out, but it came right back in. Need to see some a little bit more volume out of this, but this is starting to get some good movement. $6 definitely a big spot for NUAI. It was trying to clear that in the pre-market. It, cleared that and came right back in the regular session, and now we're doing it again. So we need to start seeing some of these 5-minute candles close above the $6 mark. Turn still hanging out here. Is this compressing? It looks like it might be compressing. Maybe we see some a breakout in turn. Watch for expanding volume.
TERN. Sorry, I'm doing my best to keep up with you here.
I'll try to slow down. I'm going.
There's just a lot of stuff going on, and shit, I missed Amazon again. I knew it. I knew if I took my eyes off of that, that was going to happen.
File back.
Son of a bee, man.
File back up here at 4. TGE. This is another name that we looked at this morning. This is trading beneath its 65 EMA right now, trying to recapture it. If we close this current candle underneath the 65 EMA, I'm worried about this thing going under $1.
TGE. That looks kind of nasty. How's Cypher doing?
Cypher's kind of holding up here. It keeps going back and forth above and below its VWAP.
So let me ask you, if it holds up here, you think we make another run at 24 there?
I don't think it's quite done.
Yeah,
I think we're still trying to get through 24. We just need to start seeing some closes above it. There's a large seller right at 23.50. We got to get out of the way now. Really large seller. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to see some big volume to take this guy out, and he's gone. It was and maybe he just moved it away because that was like 100,000 shares plus. That was standing.
You might have to take a look at that. Amazon might be gearing to pop above 259. Your pre-market high. That thing. Kind of all over the place. I need to focus on that if I'm going to trade that. I am kind of interested here in Cypher, though. On this bouncing back. Good to see. Nokia, a little bit of continuation here today.
If NUAI can hold above, I would say like 585. If we can continue to hold above that over the next maybe 10 or 15 minutes, maybe we see a move through $6 that actually holds up with NUAI. So that's kind of what I'm waiting to see if we end up getting here with that stock.
Marcus saying he thinks IREN is a huge watch here. Marcus, you think it holds this 70 area and turns back up towards the highs? That's IREN. Let me know. Still holding higher by 18% on the back of that.
72.50 is a big level for iron right now. We need to start closing back above it. CRBU still trying to recapture its VWAP. TGE now trading beneath the 65 EMA.
Meta might be curling up here. That's actually not bad, Lion.
Bio continues to let's try and continue to climb. If we can't get back into the above $4 and hold above $4, might lose VWAP. Here we are trying to go over $4 right now in FIO.
Wolf with a U came all the way back in.
NUAI.
Turn looks like this is trying to go higher. Here, I'll go to NUAI next.
New highs, NUAI. Here we go. NUAI. Slow moving, but still getting up there.
And then we're approaching Friday's intraday high there on NUAI.
MSAI is trying to turn around here. Still has some has VWAP and the 65 EMA in the way from its current location. Also, the price of 190 that we're at right now, we need to get back over that. That seems to be the support area in the pre-market. Now it's a resistance area. Turn. Here we go. Finally, with that compression, we finally got that move. $15 is on deck here.
Here we go on turn. Marcus here saying if IREN breaks 75, it goes to 100. IREN really needs to, at this point, get above its VWAP. I'm with you, though. I don't know if that's done yet here today, Marcus. Apple calls getting bought into this down move. 270 calls. Tesla taking the next leg higher here. 467.79 on Tesla. I'll tell you, when I saw those earnings come across, when I saw those options cross the wire earlier, couldn't determine which direction it was going to go. Tesla, big bang higher there.
Cypher, big seller at 23.75. It's trying to get hit. They're hitting it right now.
That's CIFR. Sorry, I'm still looking around here.
MSAI still trying to slowly make its way up towards VWAP and the 65 EMA. It looks like it just came up close to the 65 EMA where it was rejected. NUAI, big. We're moving now with NUAI. 677 is now the current high.
Okay.
We are trying to clear. I think we did print a new high compared to last week's high, but still the same area of rejection that we're seeing. We need to I think we need to get above. What is this? So we're above that high from the 27th. We need to start closing above it now. It looks like we may end up getting that as long as we continue climbing like we are right now.
Look at this power move on NUAI.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. 680, where we're at right now. All right, let's see. Back to some of these other ones. CRBU still having a hard time with VWAP. TGE just had a big move back up through the 65 EMA and VWAP. Now we're looking at that area as support.
Marcus asking, did you read the news with IREN? Yes, we covered it earlier. I went over the press release. Here it is linked in the chat there for you. IREN did break higher. It looks like it's trying to break its VWAP right now.
Turn resistance at $15. Also a seller in the way.
It's TERN.
Mm-hmm. TGE looking for a test of the 200 EMA at 130. CIFR targets. Let's see here. Because I think to the upside, we figured that there's, it's blue sky, right?
Yeah, it really needs to break and hold above this 24, though.
Let's see here.
Volume's coming in a little bit. I'd like that to expand a little.
All right, so we are up there.
IREN at its VWAP again.
Yeah, I mean, Cypher, the only levels that we really have are just going to be to the downside because we're creating new levels at this point. 22 is going to be your support. But look at this seller in the way at 24 that just got destroyed. Okay.
There we go on Cypher. New high of day on this impulse move higher here.
Turn still looking to take out 15 and remain above it. Still looking for that. But the current high, 1509. TGE just tested the 200 EMA that I was mentioning earlier. Looks like it's currently getting rejected. What we would want to see is a close above it. One of the these 5-minute candles starting to close above it. Then we can start looking towards that 147 high that we made in the pre-market.
Tesla's still screaming higher here. 469.85, your high print on Tesla. That really kind of bucking the NASDAQ, which is near the lows, trying to bounce here.
IREN now back above VWAP.
That's what we needed on IREN. Good call, Marcus. He's still waiting on a 75 break on IREN.
Let me look at IREN on a daily chart. Is this just the psychological 75? Because I don't think we've really got any prints there, do we?
No, we had the high print here, 78.88 in the pre-market on IREN. IREN coming back in a little bit towards its VWAP. If it can hold this, that's actually a pretty good back test of it. I've got VWAP at 72.59, current price here 72.66. VWAP is the same in my broker as it is in TradingView, so this looks like it's back testing the VWAP area.
This is not, I don't know what IREN's going to do, but the last monthly candle, the October candle, didn't look that great. It's good that we're still back up here at the highs of that candle, but I'm a little concerned about this coming in. And that might be just, being a worry wart, so don't listen to me about that. But just kind of looking at the monthly chart, and I was like, that October candle doesn't look great.
IREN just gave up its VWAP. Let's see where this holds. I think if you get a higher low here, That actually sets up for another push back through VWAP to the upside. We'll see if we end up getting that.
TGE still.
Look at your turn. Went right through 15.
There it is. And it hit almost 16. Looks like 1583 is a current high. Little bit of a spread on this one, 10 to 20 cents. Looks like we're getting a little bit of weakness here in NUAI. But
Cypher looks like this is going to continue to try and go higher here. CIFR.
We're going to want to see NUAI hold above the VWAP over the next 10 or 15 minutes. Because if it does, we could put in some higher prints. Unless it just wants to do it right now, I can go ahead. And you said Cypher?
Cypher continues to push higher, yep.
Yeah, this is because they keep hitting that $24 area. That was the spot. And now we need to see this candle close above it. I think if we do, that establishes 24 as a support area. There's that. Now, if this comes back in, let's see if 24 holds.
You know, interestingly, in IREN, here, let me go back to that. And let's go to a daily. Now, we're going to have to see how this candle closes. I know we're kind of battling here with the VWAP. There's likely going to be more here, but I want to see where this closes here. We do have an island that's kind of made at a previous high here. I would imagine if we close above that, this probably has another day or two, maybe just several days of a higher move here. This is going to look pretty good on the daily if we're able to close. Let's see, what value do I have there? 74.15. So to Marcus's point that he was making earlier about 75, I think if you get a close above this previous high on this piece of news here this morning, IREN probably runs. We'll see if we get that. Looks like it's still flirting with its VWAP as we speak.
Looks like turned. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Apple doing a perfect reversal off its previous high. Thank you, Tenzin.
Yeah, turn. You just want to see this hold VWAP. Otherwise, if we start losing VWAP, this is going to come back in a little bit. And I don't know how much a little bit would be. IREN looking for 73.
Cypher just continues to march. That was a really good mention there on Cypher coming back and breaking that pre-market high. Wish I took that one.
And now it's IREN is starting to move here a little bit more.
Yeah, this IREN looks like this might try and go here.
So THAR is now down at its 65 EMA. Could get support here, or could get it a little bit lower at 315, down where the 200 EMA is. We're going to need to see more volume. I mean, it's got
THAR, you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's got it. You know, the support's here, but if we don't get the volume component with this, then we're likely going to fall through the 65 EMA and just come back to where the price was trading before all this movement.
So ugly on this chart, man.
Mm-hmm. IREN, on the other hand, this thing wants 74, it looks like. Did get it earlier out of the gate, but got that rejection, got the support from the 65 EMA. Let's see if this next visit up at 74 actually meaningfully takes it out and holds above it.
Wow, the buyers are relentless here in IREN.
And UAI, we're approaching 7.
I can't determine which one I want to look at. I think IREN is going to be the one that goes here next, but I don't know. We'll see. That was a nice push through and battle back on the VWAP, honestly. Yeah.
For NUAI, if we do manage to get through 7, I think we're going to see some big resistance around 715 to 720. So just keep that in mind. If we do manage to get through 7 here and start to trade a little bit higher, there's a potential rejection site between 1715 and 1720. Okay, what else is looking good? Cypher 25 now. Well, it was at 25. There's a seller in the way, but we hit 25.11. THAR losing the 65 EMA. MSAI still trying to recapture the 200 EMA. Iron coming back in. Needs to get that support from the VWAP to hold up.
I've got that VWAP 7260. It's flirting with 73 at the moment.
And mine's at 7250. Not too far away. I think that's good. I'm a little concerned about turn. Volume seems to be waning.
Here is turn. Iron back under 73. I'd like it at that test VWAP. I'll keep that on one of my other charts here. Tenzin saying everything seems range bound, except for Tesla continues to trade higher here.
Well, I mean, what do we have to look forward to at this point besides, the remainder of earnings and the end of the government shutdown? I know there's some things to look forward to, but those are the two biggest things that come to mind in the near term. What else do we have to look forward to? NUAI pushing back over 7. The next, I guess the next thing we could be keeping our eyes on is what happens next month with rates, whether or not the Fed decides to cut or keep them the same. Turn still trying to push higher. Hasn't been able to get over the 1583 high it made about 15 minutes ago. Let's see. I'm just looking for something that's giving us some good setup here, but
I'm seeing iron puts get bought into this move higher. Iron rolling back over there, $72 now. That actually lost its VWAP. I still think, though, watch for a higher low here. I've got the 65 EMA down there at 70.36.
If this doesn't hit 725, like if we manage to turn around above that, then I think that'll be to your point. Because the low of the session now is 70.25. But meanwhile, NUAI continues to go higher. Now at 721 is the current high.
Femi, someone was asking about this penny stock Femi earlier. This did have news. Looks like it's flirting with its VWAP as we speak. Here's your NUAI chart.
We traded this before.
Femi?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We've traded this one before. This was the birth control play, I believe. NUAI is soaring. It's doing pretty good. Yeah, Jay, I think it's going to be that way until we get some kind of back and forth between Trump and Xi again, or Trump, the U.S. and China. But this whole deal that was made last week has hit the rare earths, especially if it seems like we're going to be buying from them for the period of time now, and more or less kind of developing the sites that we have and the companies that we have for rare earth extraction and refinement. But I expect there's going to be a lot of stockpiling. I would think.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about a strategic reserve for rare earths. I would think that's got to be helpful.
We're going to have a strategic reserve for everything at some point.
Yeah, I would imagine. Apple could go back to 266.
Wow. RGTZ has been flying because RGTI has been dying.
That got a downgrade today, RGTI.
Well, I love it because I was buying up RGTZ last week. Oh, we are beneath 41 now. Ooh. I don't know where we're going to end up closing today with Rigetti, but if we don't close above 41, I think that's going to lead to more downside.
B. Riley downgrading Rigetti to neutral raises the price target to 42.
Okay.
That was your news there. That was your news there on Rigetti.
Why do they think it's worth 42? I guess I need to read it. But why do they think it's worth 42?
I'll tell you what. This chart here. This looks like a good job on the RGTZ buys. Because it looks like this wants to continue rolling lower here.
Yeah.
Let's go through some of these. MSPR, that was your penny stock. We'll see there. TSLL, this is your Tesla levered ETF. This looking pretty good. Tesla is still up near the highs there. THAR almost round trip that entire move. KView actually looks like this is trying to push above its VWAP. What's IRON doing at its VWAP? That was right near that, wasn't it?
It's kind of just hanging out right there.
So here, 13, I got a trend line now.
All right.
I got a trend line now. Let's see if we can get up towards that trend line on IREN.
It's
rumors the whole Reddit crew are going to fight the Wolfpack shorts on DVLT. I don't even know what that means.
Wolfpack short report, I believe, is what they're.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I'm guessing. That Reddit crew can do whatever it wants, including drive its company into the ground if it wants.
AREC, this is another one. American Resources, that hasn't been able to get back to its VWAP. What's the Lumen do? Okay, so Lumen, that was a nice little push here on Lumen. That was a pretty good move out of the gate. Bloom Energy on my scanner as well. What was that doing here today? Bloom, BE, this is even higher. Boy, oh boy.
This is wild with Bloom Energy. Probably the biggest battery data center play that I can think of. Must still be squeezing.
MSAI looks like that's rejecting and moving away from the VWAP. IOVA gave everything back. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Tencent. So now we're going to see higher insurance premiums. Looks like MSAI is trying to turn around, although I'm not sure about this one. Let's see if it can even recapture the 200 EMA, because it's been, ever since it lost it this morning, it's been having a hell of a time trying to recapture it. So MSAI, we get to recapture the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Maybe there's going to be something here, but not liking the volume. Looks like NUAI is finally getting a pull here. First red candle in about almost half an hour after hitting 759.
Amazon pulled back 255. If it holds this, maybe it makes a move towards 260. Though I don't know if I trust it here. Market is still pulling a little bit.
We really did have a big move. So we had ISM manufacturing data, which doesn't look particularly great. Only one really came within estimates.
CIFR pulled off its spot. Boy, I don't see anything that has a great setup here unless I'm missing something.
Everything is slow, so slow moving today that it's just like, well, if something looks good, maybe just get a position and see if it does anything. I'm not saying that's what anybody should do, but it's kind of like that's the course of action you're going to have to take with some of these.
And one of the other things we're taking a look at here, in case the SPY continues to trade down, here's what the SPY looks like on the 5-minute. Really, 680 is going to be a support level there. We're currently at 681. So maybe if we get some more pullback there on the SPY. Meta is moving. That was a call by Lion earlier. Take a look at Meta and see how that's doing. Sorry, 13.
We've got Fed speak going on right now. Goolsby is talking. Okay, let's look and see what the market's doing here.
Actually, this Meta call, not bad. RGTZ. Meta, maybe if it can get back up to that trend line, 663. Sorry, 13.
RGTZ, $13 now. This was trading under 11 in the pre-market.
Really good buy last week, too.
You know, I think some other folks in Happy Hour were picking this up as well.
Yeah, this has been a great trader recently. Maybe I should really focus more on this.
And you know what? I was a little concerned about, because I had been mentioning, I don't know how well the rejection of the 20-day SMA moving average is going to continue to work. And I was a little bit concerned about it not working since we got 2 closes above 41 last week. And we closed like right at the 20-day SMA. And then we got a huge rejection out of the open here today. So it still looks like a 20-day SMA being a major rejection site is continuing to work for the time being, and it has been working. I really want to see. I don't want to see the price come back up to visit the 20-day SMA again, because I don't like it when a price continues to hammer a certain moving average. It tends to weaken it. Let's take a look at RTGI. There we go. Nope, wrong one. RTGI. I'll get it. There we go. We're getting RGTI. All right, let's take a look at the chart.
Amazon still holding here. Tesla making a move back up towards 474.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe we potentially see Rigetti hitting 32 this week, sometime this week. That's kind of what I'm wondering. Not today, sometime this week, potentially.
Looks like a lot of stuff weakening up here.
Roblox is finally coming down to my price. Well, those lawsuits have been getting filed. Maybe that's finally hammering the company.
What was your price on Roblox? What was the target?
Well, my target is for this thing to, really get hammered and come back in. I think when we were talking about this and this getting hit was back in early October from the lawsuits from all those basically pedophilia on Roblox on the platform. Yeah. This is down where I was expecting to go to back in the beginning of October. So he's pointing out that it's finally getting hammered after it went on a little bit of a rise up to 140 where it got rejected. So I appreciate you flagging that for me. It looks like we're coming into a bit of a support area for Roblox between 100 and 105. So I would expect there to be some kind of support that potentially turns this thing around and tries to get it to move back up to some higher levels. But I don't think we're going to really get back up beyond 114, 115.
Barat, are you saying 84 area? Is that your target for Roblox here on this down move?
The 84 area? Or if he's saying that's mine, then that was probably from when I was talking about how potentially low this could go as a result of those lawsuits. To be honest, I didn't mark off where I was saying it could go, but absolutely 80 looks like a support, like an area where the price could fall down to, maybe even 75. But first, we need to see what it does with the 200-day SMA, and that's going to be at 95.23.
We'll see what we get. See if Roblox keeps coming in. That was a really good mention there. Never ended up trading that one. BYND. This is at the top of the scanner here. Huge move down here, trying to bounce. I'm not trading BYND. Actually, Meta is bullish trading on the hour Bollinger Band. So it looks like you're expecting Meta a little bit higher there. That was actually a good mention. Lion, are you still trading Meta?
I'm curious if BYND gets support at 120. We'll see what happens, but I'm kind of curious to see if we end up. Oh, and they have earnings tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. No, they have a conference call tomorrow, and they have earnings on the 11th. At least that's what what it's saying here. I don't know what kind of earnings we're going to see out of this thing, but maybe it gives it a bullish lift. I'm looking at the chart for BYND, and it's just interesting how 120 stands out as a potential support level. So we'll see what we end up getting with that. They canceled their earnings date? Okay. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't think there's much to show about what they earned.
Yeah, didn't they delay it? Yeah,
that's what Jay was just saying. They canceled the earnings date. Yeah,
and I got to refresh Pro. I don't know what the heck is going on here.
RGTZ 1318 is the high now. Continues to climb. 1322. Looks like Thar is getting some support from the 200 EMA. Looking to recapture its 65 EMA. Volume's really low. I don't know how much of a move we're going to get here, but I'm just going to mention what I see with these things. Cypher Mining still looking to get back into the 25 handle. It's making its way up there right now. TGE still trying to get back over VWAP. Large seller on the way at 125 for TGE.
TGE, let me go to that. TGE is just kind of moving sideways. Man, Ondas, more downside. Did anyone buy those 5 puts that I talked about last week to kind of protect that long position? Ondas does not look good here today. Down another 6%. Looks like it is doing its absolute best to hold on to $6. I don't think that happens. I think this probably breaks back into a 5 handle. Nasty, nasty pullback in Ondas. Oklo's dumping, so some of those other high flyers look like they're coming in a little bit.
All the big movers we've had for this year, you know, so the quantums, the drones, the nuclears. I'm sure some of the space plays might be coming back in. Like, let's take a look at ASTS, because that's the big 5% down today. ASTS. Let me look at my watch list for space stocks. So that's probably what I should be doing anyway.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't have any good long side trading ideas here today. I'm getting hit on the swings. I don't see a whole lot of good setups.
Space play is massively red today. There's only one stock that's actually green. That's Spire Global, and it's only up 1%. Everything else is red. Everything else is red. So yeah, speculative names, big mover names that we've been seeing this year. Not in play today.
UNH pounding the lows. Man, a lot of pullbacks here.
And this is probably what's going to happen with some of these other insurers, since we didn't get the extension of the ACA tax or the XIII subsidies. Because that expired. And health insurance premiums are going to go up. So I would expect people are going to just drop coverage. Kind of imagine that's what's going to happen. Nobody's going to really be able to afford health insurance, and if there's going to be fewer jobs, that's fewer, company enrollments. I think they're going to have less coverage because it's so expensive.
PayPal more lows, 68.5. Tesla did pull off that 474 high. Actually lost 470. Apple did hold 267, Tenzin. Pretty good. I don't know if I feel great about that turning around. And looking at the market here, SPY and NASDAQ, that very short-lived bounce, that's getting sold again.
I don't think UNH is going to sell off too much. To me, it looks like there could be some support coming around, up just above 300. But this shutdown, I think, has affected the health insurers. And we did fill a gap here with UNH too on last Tuesday. So it's got that going for it on its technical side. So you're getting some weakness there. You got the ACA credits expiring or subsidies expiring. So that's why that's down today. What other insurers could we look at? See if I'm sure it's the same thing across the board with them.
Yeah, so the ones that we had been looking at before, MOH, Molina, Humana, and UNH. CNC was the other one on that list that folks have been trading.
Yeah.
All of these look similar. You're right about that. Yeah. Bharat, PayPal is such a trash stock. I'll be honest with you. I love the product because I use it. And it's it does well for me, but you're absolutely right about the stock. This thing has been so insane.
It is
so difficult to trade recently. Yeah.
It is kind of mismanaged.
Yeah, you're right.
They have, if they are the only one that's using OpenAI, in their wallets, then why aren't they doing better? If they've got this AI angle on their platform, why aren't they doing better? Look at some of these other names here. Looks like IREN is trying to turn around still.
Is it?
It just got a little bit of support from the 65 EMA. Looking for VWAP. And UAI also trying to turn around as well. And we are about to get some new highs, and we just did with RGTZ.
Man, I am really struggling today. I continue to click on the wrong things. I am sorry. Here's your IREN chart finally. We'll still see if we can challenge that trend line. Bobby mentioning Amazon, that is still holding 255, but not looking great there on Amazon here. Let me go back to that. Here's AMZN.
It wouldn't surprise me if we gap filled, to be honest. We're not that far away because the gap fills at 250.
Here's what we need to break above on Amazon. Again, holding 255 here, but for how long?
Oh, I mean, look, see that wick there to your left?
Right here?
To the very extreme left.
This one?
I'm talking to the edge of your page.
Right here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
See that right there?
Gotcha.
Yep. And that's also where the gap fills from Friday as well, from the regular session prints, because we opened at 250.10.
See there on Amazon. Oh, look at this. I ran right back up to that VWAP and rejected again. God, I hope nobody got hit on that. I hope nobody got hit on that.
Turn is turning around and looking for 1583, which is the current session high. Currently facing some resistance around 1550, but it's still moving up.
Okay.
You know, all things considered, it hasn't been a bad morning. Still got some movement out of some of these names, but
I was going to say, speak for yourself, dude. I'm getting pounded today. I haven't made any day trades on any of these things because I'm late on all of them, and the stuff that I am holding is getting pounded. Man, oh man.
Tenzin trusts the Apple reversal happening.
Yeah, that actually was all right off 267. I didn't take that though.
So it seems like tech's really getting hammered here. Do you have a heat map that we could look at to see what's not getting hammered? I have a suspicion that it's probably going to be something like industrials, utilities, maybe, but just kind of wanted to see what we've got here as far as our heat map is showing.
Where's my market overview? Do I not have one here? Sorry, 13. I am struggling today. I am struggling, dude.
Sometimes when you have such a big win in football, you get a little euphoric.
No, it's not even that. Like everything
I'm trying to give you an out,
lagging,
sir. Take it. I'm giving you an out. Take it.
I just wish I wasn't so sloppy right now. Is this even right?
Those are not. Yeah, those are just some sectors. Let me see what we got here.
Yeah, NVIDIA higher, Amazon higher on that gap move. Just a couple of pockets here. Palantir, this has actually been weak. This was higher in the pre-market. Financials, no green out in financials at all. Industrials really kind of taking it on the head. Healthcare, as you kind of already talked about.
It seems like everybody's just kind of hanging out in the bigger names for safety.
Yeah.
I mean, not even industrials is doing well. I mean, Boeing is because they had a pretty bad week last week, but everything else in that sector is like down. I guess HWM, Howmet Aerospace. No, HWM, Howmet.
Oh, HW, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, there's not a lot that's up.
Yeah, I would say I don't really feel good about buying anything here today.
Nope. This is more of a sell day. All right. Just want to know. Bull opinion?
Here, I'll put that. I'll put the chart up here for you, 13. But I'm gonna step away for just 1 second. We'll go to the washroom.
All right. So this continues to go lower, and that might not stop until we're under 10. Because we're coming down to a support area around 1025, and then the next area beneath that is going to be from the opening, the opening day of this stock, which was the low was 954, and we haven't had any prints beneath that. So that's kind of where I'm at with this thing. This is not worked out after it ran up to 16 the last time, because this was behaving pretty well for a reversal pattern. And then once we started losing 16 and I got stopped out of this thing, we have not been able to get back above 16 or 15 for that matter. And we've just continued to lose levels. But at least we have these levels that were clearly identified on the way down, because now they are going to be resistance to the upside. So if we do get this support around $10, $10.25, we are going to want to see a recapture of the 20-day SMA, followed by a recapture of $12. And that would be ideally what's going to give us that upside. I just don't know if we're going to end up getting that. The bull is not the same as Hood. Hood has a lot of great things going for it. Bull needs to, I think, get a little bit more into personal finances. Because I think one of the big things that helped Hood out, and I don't think Bull has this quite yet, was a gold card, a gold credit card. I don't think Bull has anything like that right now, and I think that would really help them out if they tied their brokerage to that. So until we start seeing something like that, I don't think we're going to get the moves that Hood is doing. But for support, Bull, $10.25, $10, and then the $9.54 after that. We're gonna have to hold a bag in Bull. I'm sorry. I mean, it's down at a pretty low RSI. It's still that it could fall further. I don't think you have a whole lot further to fall, but I'm not sure exactly what's going to turn this around either. Like I said, they're going to have to come out with some kind of information or some kind of news about a credit card or something that they've got going on with their platform that keeps people coming back to them. Maybe they open up some kind of gambling aspect to it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to turn Bull around right now, to be honest. Let's see. NCRA is getting mentioned. Doesn't look like this has been doing a whole lot after the morning pop. We've been going sideways pretty much, kind of hanging out between 2 and 215 mostly. When something goes sideways like this for a time, there's the possibility that this could make a sudden move, whether it be to the upside or downside. You just kind of get this calm before the storm. So we'll see if we get any volume expansion here in this one. But right now, it just seems like it's compressing NCRA. I don't even know what this is or what it does. But just look at the chart. It seems like we're just kind of in a range for the moment until we get a big spike in volume. RGTZ continues to climb. Where's RGTI at this point? Man, this thing's having a bad day. All right, we're beneath 40 now. This is looking great. Like I said, looking for that 50-day SMA test this week. What happens today? Not sure. Maybe we get down to maybe 38, maybe 37.50. I don't know where the bottom is today in Rigetti, but as long as it keeps selling, I'm happy. MSPR looking for $1.
Okay, back.
MSP recovery. So it did just tap $1. Looks like it got a little bit of a backing off on that one. Let me look at a daily chart with this. So we just kind of mentioned this one because it was starting to get some movement. It had some volume. I can see that compared to Friday, this is having a really good day. It was just under 20 cents that it was the low on Friday, and today we are approaching $1. So nice 5x move there. Don't know where this is going to end up going. Could go on a run, might not. Not sure. Don't know what the news is. Why is everything falling off any news from the government?
No news from the government, but everything is pulling here. All your indices are pulling back.
Yeah,
straight down.
And government's been one of the biggest funders of a lot of these stocks. I mean, a lot of this movement too. A lot of government money flowing into these things. Government stakes being taken.
Look at RGTZ. This was the trade of the day. This was the trade of the day.
Yeah, this is doing pretty dang good.
Yep. Here's that penny stock MSPR. Looking like it's going for $1 there. Yeah, short paying. Good stuff there, Bri. I'll hand out some register rings for whoever's got some short stuff today. I was totally offside here today. I am getting pounded here today, folks. Pounded.
And you know, Jay, it's we haven't even split yet, so it's going to be even worse when that happens later this month. It was just talking about how people were buying that news of the split. Look, I don't view that as buying news. For me, that's either hold or selling news. That's just the way I view forward splits.
On this big time selling. Look at this. Ooh. All right. Well, hopefully anyone that was looking for some more downside here or looking to protect your longs, hopefully you went with those 5 puts.
Let's see where we get support here with ONDS. Let me see if I can find something here.
Yeah, I think that what's happening here is on the huge move higher, you probably did have some bigger traders loading it up. It made it at its appearance on Fast Money, or it got mentioned on Fast Money a couple of times. And I think you're probably just unloading going into the year end.
That's a death knell. It seems when you get a name like this on that show. Everybody knows about it now. Okay, so looking like 4 is going to be a solid spot. There might be some support coming a little bit earlier, just above 5, but 4 is looking like a really strong area.
And Izzy, Ryan, what are you getting pounded on? Literally everything that I'm holding. The only thing that I have in my portfolio that's green today is iPower, IPWR, and it's minor. Everything else that I'm holding, even my dividend plays, are down today. It's just red across the board. Red across the board, and I don't see any good day trades here today either. I mean, look at this. Look at Ondas. Look at this candle here today. This is so nasty. And if you look at the 15-minute chart, look what it's been doing recently. And thank God some of this stuff was sold on the way up. But man, oh man, oh man, everything, Izzy, everything. Amer Sports, CGC, Costco, Ethereum, IDAI's down. Even my Palantir short, because Palantir gapped up, is still down on the day. Oh man, oh man. My biggest position, Starwood, down. Everything I have, small, medium, large, all of it pulling back today. Down bad. So you get it, Izzy. So you get it. It is what it is. RNTX getting mentioned here by the chat.
What? Is it just finally popping up again?
This popped, yeah, a little bit here off the low.
Well, let's see. What's down the most today?
Pounded.
Down the most. Oh, really? DuPont is down. One of the QURE and DuPont are down the most. Now that's interesting that DuPont is down so much. Is there news? I don't know why it's telling me it was down that much, but it's not as much as I thought it was.
And someone mentioned Bitcoin here, right? Yeah, Jonathan Cooper, Bitcoin, big pull. That's taking a lot of stuff with it. I tell you what, that Ethereum swing for calls, that is going to be a huge loss. Oh.
So what I'm hearing is risk off.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely risk off here today.
Yeah, I know. Look, I see. Lion is kind of he's right there with what I'm thinking right now. Like, I'm looking around for things that are interesting to buy.
Do you feel good about buying them today, though?
It depends. It just depends on what it is and how much it's been falling. If this is the first day it started selling, then probably not.
Yeah.
But if it's been getting hammered, and now this is a day where it's been really down and along with everything else. As long it depends. Like I said, it depends if it's been how bad it's been treated lately. So if it's a really beat up name, but it's a good company, I might be interested. So like I said,
Gotcha.
I agree. This is the time that you want to start getting that shopping list out and start looking for things that you had on your list.
Buffalo by Bicycle. I'm nibbling today. What are you nibbling? Lion says, I'm buying the dip. What are you buying? Ed says, when Ryan's crying, I'm buying. I'm not crying yet, but nonetheless, what are you buying? What are you guys buying?
Nothing yet, but let me.
Everyone's telling me to buy, so I'm just wondering what we're supposed to be buying.
Well, it could be the, like I said, the names that haven't been doing well that are still good companies. Those are the ones that are going to be the most attractive to me right now.
Are you on the consumer staples front? Are you still on that, like Tyson, Conagra?
I'd be looking there. I still think I'd be looking at healthcare. I'd be looking at some,
Okay.
maybe even some real estate companies. But yes, certainly consumer discretionary and consumer staples. Certainly those.
Okay.
So we got some folks buying the VIX.
I'll tell you what, VIX trading has never worked for me. When I first started, I started with the VIX, and I lost more money trading the VIX than you could possibly imagine. I was going to buy HIMS, but I don't know. Ernest is buying Apple calls.
Apple calls, huh? And we have AMD reporting tomorrow. And that's kind of just sideways today.
Palantir back down to 202. We'll see if that holds on to 200 prior to that earnings. Here's your AMD chart.
Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing too, Jay. A lot of food names.
Kevin buying the TNA 45 with the November 7th expiry. So you're trading it for this week. TNA paid $115 for that.
It's just that, and I like that the idea that some folks are nibbling, because this could just be like the first of several days of where we get selling. So I don't think that's a bad idea to just go slow. Make sure you're not getting in too early.
So Kevin here, this is interesting. This is the levered bull small cap ETF. So do you think that this is just kind of a one-day pullback here? Or like 13 is saying, do you anticipate maybe multiple days there? I mean, you've got an expiry for this week, so it looks like you're looking for a bounce in relatively short order. That's TNA. That's actually really liquid. Bitcoin was liquidating. It's reversing now. Bitcoin is bouncing here. We want to see if that's a short-lived bounce or not. And by the way, the NASDAQ and the SPY have started, but they tried to do this earlier. That immediately got sold as well. Kevin says, okay, you think small caps will bounce by Friday. Okay. And actually, if we take a here, let me go back to the bigger chart here. We can actually take a look at that TNA. That just lost the 50. So maybe you get a recapture of that. Here's what it looks like. So here's your 50-day moving average at 45.18. We lost that here today, but maybe we recapture that and end up holding that. Let me know. Zach says, call me crazy, but I'm liking this. No, totally get it. That's why I was asking, what are you guys buying? And that's why I'm asking specifically on some of these other trades. What do you guys see happening here?
Looks like we are getting a reversal in a lot of things.
Tesla's turning back up. Amazon's still holding 255, but that really has kind of been not great.
Iron, that got hammered too, and it's starting to turn around after hitting 67.82. That really pulled.
There's Iron. TNA literally from that's amazing, Kevin. From the mention of that order at 115, TNA straight up. I know it's only 50 cents, but that move was straight up from mentioning that.
Rigetti trying to recover a little bit. It's like MSPR recaptured $1 for the time being.
I've got that at 39% short, by the way. That's as of the last filing, though. Lion, adding to Meta, Palantir, and Amazon. So you're adding to Palantir ahead of earnings. Interesting.
I'm not adding it to Amazon up here. I think there's still some more. It could come in some more to add to.
I'm thinking with Amazon too. I'm thinking that 255 probably gets retested here today. I don't think there's any guarantee that holds.
This is, I mean, it's been extended. I mean, we went from from 222 on Thursday, and we're trading at almost at 260 today. I'd like to see it come back in if I was going to add. I already added to this a while back when we were going through this sideways price action. So I'm not going to be adding up here, but I'd like to see it come back in. I don't want to buy when it's extended.
Here's Amazon. Cannot get above the trend line carved out by this impulse move higher. We'll see if it still does. And it's really testing 255. We'll see if that 255 holds.
Smell, you're picking up or you're adding iron and Bloom Energy. Yeah, Bloom Energy just continues to push higher. I don't know where this party ends.
Me either.
I'm a little worried about. I mean, I don't personally. This is not really a spot I'd be buying it. I don't want to buy into the strength. But if this loses, I mean, I think the time to pick this up. I mean, you got your opportunity when this came down to its 20-day SMA. We reversed there and got this. So as long as that continues to work, I think that's where the spot to buy is. It's done this 2 or 3 times already. As a matter of fact, this whole move with Bloom Energy on the daily chart has just been nothing but running, ramping with the 20-day SMA. And every time the price dips underneath it, that's the buy spot. That's just how it's been since July.
Add it on weakness and sell into the rips, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla 474 is that high.
MSPR just got a big pull that took it down underneath $1. It's going to potentially halt. There it is, halted. MSPR.
On a downside move?
On a downside break that lost $1, and it was an ugly too. Wonder what the news is. Let's see if there is any news that caused that to move down.
Ryan says looking for 67.35 on IRA, and you looking to add, right? So you want this to come in a little bit more and then add that for a swing? This looks like this is still leaking.
So what was the price he was looking for with iron?
He says 67.35. So he's looking for about 15 more cents here.
So you're looking at the high from last week. That's where you're thinking the bounce is, because I could see that, but I still have the suspicion that we're going to gap fill. But
that gap fills down there at 62, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad spot if you're doing a trade, but it still seems to me like we're going to potentially gap fill here. But that is a support area that he pointed out. Volume is expanding in FIO. So about 20 minutes ago, we had a nice reversal. We captured the 65 EMA. We're making our way up to VWAP, which I have at 351. Hey, you know what, Mo? That's still fine. I mean, if you look at the heat map and you see that everything else is down and you're up 1%, I think that's a win.
I was going to say, not bad.
So good job.
Not bad at all. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, go have a good rest of your day.
Iron's still that slow leak. I'm in agreement with you folks that think that this is probably going to be a buy. That news really was good. So I get it. I just don't know where that weakness ends here. By the way, 680 on the SPY was that level that held.
All right. Looks like things are starting to pull again. You said Iron news was good. Yeah, okay, I remember that. Yeah. Turn. This is getting a little bit of a lift here. Still trying to get over 1550.
I'm a ninja with knife catches. Envious. Be careful today. I hope that you're still saying that tomorrow. Just be careful.
Yeah. If you succeed with that, go show Britney Spears how it's done.
I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm not even going to touch that one. And whoever was trading those spy calls there, pretty good. Who was that? Was that Big Bear Hug?
Right. It's because she plays with knives.
I get it. All right.
Watch out for dead cats. DVLT, only stock in the green today, up 5%. They have interesting news, hype or real upside. I know people like Data Vault. They're trading higher because of the short report that Wolf Research they responded to the short report.
Is this DVLT?
Mm-hmm.
How's that? I don't even know if I looked at that here today.
I haven't read the short report, so I don't know exactly what they're accusing Data Vault of. But company's still raising money. They did an offering last week. Cost keeps going up as market pulls. MSPR nasty dump halted. Yeah,
that was from $1, right? That just halted.
Oh,
went back to penny territory. Yeah. Iron more bleed here. 67 now.
And if you don't get support at that area that you were looking at earlier, I think it's going to gap fill.
We'll see where that closes.
Mm-hmm. HGRAF been killing it for me for the last few weeks. That sounds like an OTC. OTC has been killing it for you. Hydrograph clean power. This is an OTC. An OTC with surprisingly decent volume. Look at that chart. Not too many times do you see an OTC have decent volume.
Generally stay away from OTC.
This one today, it's still early in the morning, so I don't know how we're going to end up closing today. But right now, the candle today doesn't look great. Seems to me if this can just hold above, if this can get back above and hold $3, you're okay. But if we get rejected at $3, I think this is going to be an indication that this is going to come in some more. And if that happens, then your support's going to be initially at 270, and then there's one down at 250. Hydrograph clean power. I don't even know what this exactly does. Seems like they look, it's in the clean energy space. Hydrograph clean power is engaged in acquisition and development of graphene and hydro-related products and services. So that graphene angle might be a big winner for this company, because we've been on this battery theme going into 2026. Graphene's a very big component in that. So I think that would be the angle here. It supplies materials, components to the battery industry. Like I said, don't know about this company, don't know anything about it. Just kind of reading what they're about, and it seems like they are just concerned about picking up graphene and hydrogen-related products. Bitco monthly dividend 83 cents. Well, if that depends on how that ends up going each month, because that's all that Bitco is just futures contracts. So if you get Bitcoin down, likely aren't going to get any kind of contract, or you're not going to get any dividend. RGTZ turning around. Looks like we're getting some more weakness in Rigetti then.
TERN maybe back up towards 16. I don't feel good about trading it though. Iron more lows.
What do we think about terrestrial energy? Do you have a ticker for us, Tom? I think I know which one you're talking about.
Which one is that?
I think that's the one that just went through the SPAC merger. And the nuclear one, the one that just merged, not HOND, the other one, NKLR, I believe. I think that's the one he's talking about. Let me double check. NKLR. That's Terra Innovatum. No, that's not the one. Could you just give me the ticker? Okay, ISMR. That's the other. That's the one that merged with HOND then. Right? That's the one. Yeah, it was HOND. Yep. Okay. Perfect. So this is the nuclear salt reactors. And your question about this was, what do we think about terrestrial energy? I had a better opinion on this earlier when I was looking at it some more, but I can't recall everything I thought about this. My thought, I think, was that this one's going to be better than NKLR, because NKLR, I think, has a lot of headwinds in front of it still. And this one, I know that NKLR is going to is supposed to be getting government contracts. I think this one already has some business, but don't quote me on that, because, like I said, I don't remember the exact opinion I had on terrestrial energy, but I do think that this is the better one compared to the two. What a crash and burn BMNR has been.
Yeah, that really has been. But that's also because Ethereum moved down. Like, Ethereum has just kind of crashed out a little bit to begin with, and BMNR is tied to that.
Yeah, so
look at this rollover.
I'll have to get back to you on an opinion on that, Tom. But I think when it comes down to the two that we were looking at, there were SPACs, that ended up being NKLR and IMSR. I think ISMR is the better one. I think that's what I recall from my assessment. All right, looks like TGE is still trying to recover here. Looks like it wants to go back and test the 200 EMA on the 5-minute again.
TGE, that was 13?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It got a tested rejection of that EMA earlier today, and it looks like it's trying to come back up towards that level again. Turn is also trying to go higher. It looks like 1577 is it was just up there a moment ago. Current session high is 1583. Seems to me like this wants to get over 16. This is the way it's been kind of creeping up. Like,
still no bounce in Thar. Here's your turn.
Yeah, like it seems to me like turn is kind of trading into an ascending triangle.
Brian, I know Tom Lee is having fun thinking he's Sailor. That's good times.
Aren't they kind of like Clo? You're talking about IMSR? You must be referring to the crypto. I don't know what Clo is. Well, it's almost that time. It looks like the market's really lost that volume as we typically see at about 10:30 during the session.
You know what, though? And I'm going to try and just stay glass half full here. We'll see how this week shakes out. We'll see how the earnings do, particularly Palantir's here. But look what the market did. So I know we were talking about all that selling here today. It just held 680. And we had talked about this being the low on Thursday, the intraday low from Friday, really needed to hold that. So far, that's what we've done. And we did bounce from this area. So it's not as if we're just completely without strength. It's just kind of a rough open here. Let's see if 680 is the low here for today. Let's see if any of these stocks turn around, I guess, namely the ones with good catalysts, like iron, for example. Maybe that'll turn around a little bit.
Here's the problem I have with what we've been doing here in the SPY. This is the third time we've been down here in 3 days. I'm concerned that we're going to lose 680. This is only going to be I mean, if we don't turn around and start climbing back up towards 700 soon, like I think it would have to be as early as today or tomorrow. I get the sense that we're going to come back underneath 680 and continue lower. This kind of has that setup, like a descending, like we're trading into a descending triangle a little bit. We're getting support from that one area at 680, but every time we reverse and make highs, the highs are lower and lower. So we're descending into 680. And I think that if that continues, we're going to end up losing that. That's the sense that I get from seeing this chart over the past few days.
I think you're right. I mean, furthermore, 13, I think I would probably, I mean, you were saying making a move back towards 700. I don't think you're saying it needs to take 700 here today.
No.
What I would like to see here, maybe just above 686, right? If we can take out the high from today, maybe we can't even do this today, but even if we do this tomorrow, if it looks like that we are trying to trade up at all, maybe this does kind of serve as a support area. But to your point, if we keep banging on it, maybe we'll end up breaking that down.
Yeah, so that high, 685.54 that we put in, I think that was last Monday. Yeah. So that has been the support and resistance area since that day. If you look at the 2 days following it, that was support. Then we lost that level on Thursday, and we have not been able to recapture it. That's the support and resistance area from that was established from the high on Monday, 685.54. That's what we need to get back above.
Ruby saying I should have gone fishing. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, to be quite honest with you. Jonathan saying, Ryan, 13, do you think we get a government reopen news this week? You know, I was on board with 13 last week. 13, I don't think you gave a specific day, but I did think that you say maybe we're closer to the end of the government shutdown. I got to feel the same way too. Maybe that's just me being too optimistic. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but yeah, I would feel that way.
My whole thing was they needed to reopen before November 1st because of the ACA subsidies and tax credits. So that's gone now, and I think that's not great. Well, I mean, it might be better for the government since we're not paying those subsidies, but it's going to hurt a lot of people that need health care, that rely on the subsidies for to be insured. I get the sense that we're going to start seeing a lot of people without health care coverage as a result of this. They think it might be too expensive for them. And if that's the case, then these health insurers aren't going to have less revenue because people aren't going to be on any plan. So I think that was my whole big concern about needing to get this U.S. government reopened by this weekend. And now we're past that. And now we're over 30 days into this shutdown. And we're approaching a new record for how long a government shutdown has happened.
Yep.
I would think that they need to get sorry for the swearing, but they need to get their shit together and reopen this thing.
I feel the same way. Tess here saying Democrats will want to wait out the election results. That's tomorrow, right? You're talking about the New York election?
However big a hole they want to dig themselves, that's fine. But I think they really need to get back to business. We need to get this government reopened.
Totally agree with you.
And I think it's starting to weigh on the market. I think that we're starting to see it. It's starting to weigh on the market.
We'll see. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe it will be after the elections tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah. So we've already gone past the things that I think would have caused the government to reopen. So I'm not going to speculate on what else it could be. Maybe it's that election in November. I'm sorry, in New York. Maybe. I don't know what it is that's going to turn us around right now, because I think the big things that we need to turn around for have already passed. Some seats are on the line. If you're referring to midterms, that's not what we're referring to. We're talking about the New York government. That's what you're talking about, right? The New York government.
Yeah, that's the one that I brought up. But Tessa's right. There are other seats at play here, and they're all tomorrow. So she's probably right about that. I do agree with this comment though. Tom says, when the government shuts down, congressmen and senators should not be paid. I bet you would open it a lot quicker if that were the case.
Just do Buffett rule. If what would he say if the GDP isn't growing by a certain percent? I don't remember exactly what it was, but it makes congressmen and senators ineligible for re-election if they don't get the economy and the government going the way it should be.
when the government is shut down, you should not be charged income tax for that period. That would be trouble for the country, but I mean, that would also keep them from shutting it down. I think you're probably onto something there. Yeah, Crow, I'm going to start that one today. Starting that today. We'll see how it goes. See if we get any bit of turnaround here.
Yeah, Brian, that's more along the lines of what I was referring to. I don't know if it was 3% of GDP or what the percentage was, but that's more along the lines of what I was referring to. That if members in Congress are not performing, then they don't deserve another shot at a seat.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, 13 closing words for the group here.
Hey, you know what, folks? Don't be upset with the red day. These happen all the time, and it just happened to us today. It's just going to give us some opportunities to look for some things to buy, maybe even short to the downside. It's just another day. We will have some more opportunities coming at us later on this week. I'm sure of it. Let's just keep that positivity in the air, and I'll see you folks tomorrow. We'll have some more trading. It'll be a good time. I promise. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Sounds good, 13. And I will keep that positivity flowing here. 680 has held. 680 has held so far. Let's see if that continues to hold today. We are bouncing here. So SPY, NASDAQ, this is the biggest bounce of the day. So maybe a move down there to test 680. We'll see if it bounces. We'll be back at this again tomorrow. And you guys are right. 13's right. Down days, they happen. They're part of it. These are the days where we should be adding. So we'll be right back at this again tomorrow. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. We'll